And this is Peter.
And Norm, ho ho ho.
It's Christmas time. And I'm still mourning the death of my Rogue One squadron. Because
I hope everyone's seeing this by now.
We're the Dream Warriors. We won't dream no more. We're the Dream Warriors.
We're back. We
And
are. We're here.
Maybe tonight.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Maybe
it is
tonight you'll
it's a
be
wonderful time of
It is. Today was the shortest day of the year, so it's only going to get brighter longer.
year. Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. I was serious on thinking today was like Thursday.
I wish.
Yeah,
One day closer to vacation.
and a lot of the people in my one office, I kind of throw them for a loop sometimes because I'll come in on the Monday and I'll act like it's hump day, and yeah, okay,
You need to get a shirt that says Wednesday and just wear it on like Tuesdays.
yeah, yeah.
Every Tuesday, just wear that Wednesday shirt.
Oh, and so now everyone plays along because they know like my gag, so they kind of it's flipped now. Because they'll start talking like it's Friday when it's like Wednesday, and they'll start getting excited because they're saying,
Pay back some bitch.
"Yeah." But yeah, so we're just gearing up, right? We're a couple days away from the big day,
That's right.
and we were going to do a little bit of a gift exchange.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
got yours
you know,
right here.
with the two of us being friends, yes, I'm very curious. I love presents. Yeah, we've done Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
Various forms, various
yeah,
years.
various different parties, different types of gifts. I think we got mailed gifts one year where I couldn't get around. This year has just been not even sure, dude. I'm not even sure how to even define this year. Like I'm not even like prepared for Christmas. The only reason why you have a gift is because of this program here.
Yeah.
And I forgot that I even ordered it. It came in the mail because this time of year it's just endless Amazon boxes.
Oh,
for me.
yeah.
It's just like every day in my mailroom, it's just Amazon box, Amazon. But my entire building's like that.
Oh, I believe
It's like you have to walk around them sometimes, and they're huge boxes, and you just stare at them like, what did this person order? I bet it's something cool.
Is there a Power Ranger pop in that box?
But it's a Castle Grayskull.
Yeah.
and yeah, so I was staring at this package in my elevator, and I'm like, "What is this?" And then, like, I open it, and I'm like, "Oh, this is from Norm. It's so cool," because I'm so excited to give it to you.
Oh, right back at you, buddy.
So I want to jump into that. Yeah, I think we should jump into that right now.
Okie doke. Well, here you go.
And we're let
Merry
me
Christmas.
grab
Mine was locked and loaded.
You're going to here's what we're going to do for yours.
Okay.
Since yours is not wrapped, but it's in a giant bubble
Manila envelope.
Yeah. I'm going to have you just reach your hand in here and pull it out.
Okie doke.
Okay?
The eyes are closed, everybody.
There you go. Pull that out. There you go. Turn it around.
Hey, yo, that's what's up. We have the Dream Warriors Nightmare on Elm Street 3 soundtrack. Vinyl.
LP.
Yeah.
Original vinyl.
That's what's up.
And I thought that would be fitting for us being dedicated, consistent, improving.
Very nice.
Okay? And I really, really like the artwork for that.
Oh, yeah. That's the
it's
best
such-
Freddy poster
yeah,
they
it's
came
so
out with.
freaking like the way how one side is like normal human eye, and then the other side is Freddy eye. Like I'm not even sure what that means, but it just looks amazing. And all right, let's do this. Presents. Look at you. I can tell a guy wrapped this.
Yeah, that was all me. You should use the picture I sent you as the tag for
I
this.
should. I love it too. You
Oh,
got the,
doubled up.
yeah.
Doubled up. What is it?
See, this is perfect, guy. Packing, wrapping here, just leaving it in the mailer. We have a blue shirt.
Yeah, went with the
I'm
blue.
Excited. Oh no way!
Way.
This is so cool,
Check it out.
dude. WrestleMania 5, Ultimate Warrior versus Ravishing Rick Rude. I love it, dude. Official WWE licensed shirt. Oh, this is so good. this is awesome, dude.
It was that one or
This is
him
good.
versus the Macho Man.
No,
And that one was all great, but that one, that WrestleMania I saw at the top took place in Atlantic City.
yes.
Being the home state, I figured it would be an extra little for you.
Not only home state, I'm a huge Trump supporter too. Huge Trump fan.
There
And-
goes half of our fan base.
or that's one half gone and the other 5.5 come back.
We just lost 4 people and maybe 2 signed on.
yeah. It's if you look at the voting, it's overwhelming. We would gain more followers if people knew we like Trump, or I like Trump. But and also Donald Trump was, I don't want to say like influence, but I've read his books for years.
Right.
Learned a lot from his books. I had no idea he was going to run for president and say some off the wall stuff, kind of really say some things where I'm just like, wow, and not that I want to get political
Right.
because we're not talking politics, but
We're going to keep this brief.
yeah, but
Hang in there.
But at the end of the day, it's still the context of a lot of the stuff that he said, and if you drill into it, like anything, it's hard to take the perspective that people think he was taking, because the media juggernaut, as we kind of deal with that too with what we do. There's a lot of movies that like a lot of, for example, the Rogue One conversation was skewed a certain way from the very start, and it's already like you start to develop your own mind about something and it changes. And like even you were saying earlier, like you are not for Rogue One so much anymore.
I'm not for it. I'm just not as for it as I was before.
Yeah, but a lot of what got your chest puffed up was from what you were hearing, what other people were thinking, and that leaves you in depression. And you see it, and you're like, okay, well, I think it's like that. They think it's like that, and then you take a seat back, and you're just like, wow, okay, maybe not. And that's a lot of like what happens,
Right.
especially that's a lot of how the media works.
Just took a little bit of time to marinate.
Yeah, it did.
An extra day or two.
Yeah, but sometimes it even takes like experience, perspective, and facts.
Right.
And so what happened with me with Rogue One was the opposite.
You liked it more.
I got into it more for reasons from watching the other ones. Like the more I watched the other ones, it was a lot like with Force Awakens.
Right.
Like the more I watched 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, the more I thought Force Awakens was the real Star Wars adventure.
Okay.
The other ones, in my view, are not. One's a kids movie, one's a super drama, Empire, or just like this opera-driven like set piece.
Okay.
Okay, and I still think New Hope is so slow and boring at times. It never really captures my imagination outside the beginning and the very end. New Hope has a very weak middle. It's just like dribbled to me sometimes. It doesn't appeal to me. And then you have 1, 2, and 3, and it's just like, urgh.
Yeah.
Even though the third one kind of gets better
It
every time
does.
I watch it.
It does.
Like it really
And if
does.
you cut out like the whole middle,
Yeah,
and
it's-
almost end
But-
of Attack of the Clones, the Battle of
Yeah.
Geonosis is good.
Yeah, I mean, and that is kind of becoming one of the staples of all the Star Wars movies. It's like wait until the battle at the end, wait until the war, like wait until that, but I do believe that Rogue One does things that it's already done a lot that no one ever thought they would see in a Star Wars movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it did kind of rekindle this imagination of like the aliens.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Okay. And Force Awakens really didn't do that.
Nah.
But Rogue One did that, and the aliens have 0 lines.
Right. They just have seconds.
and people are fascinated. You know, like I was on IG today. A lot of people. I think when like the encyclopedia books came out, like the visual history of Rogue One or something like that,
yeah.
and it had like tidbits, and people were like 3 of my guys that I follow on Instagram were uploading. Like they all uploaded the same exact pages. They took a picture of the same exact pages of the same exact aliens to give the biographical information and some of the blurbs that they had, and that's what I mean. Like, you know, and given those people are diehards, that's the absolute core. But they're the ones that are going to promote it.
Oh, yeah.
Same way how getting into our focal topic today, the way how Marvel depended on us to promote Thanos.
Yeah.
Okay, Marvel took a bet that the insiders would educate the outsiders on who Thanos was.
The internet would blow it up, and everybody would know.
Yeah, and I would say even beyond the internet, I would say word of mouth. Marvel took a bet that
Who was that purple guy? Oh, that's Thanos.
Yeah, who's that? Right. You know, Thanos.
Marvel's dark side, you
Thanos,
jerk.
first appearance, Iron Man 55. Shut the hell
Oh,
up.
knowledge bomb.
Yeah. And watch what I have.
All right there.
It's one of my which I should just dig it out and sell it because I don't care. It's stupid.
There you go.
It
Makes
makes
money.
no sense. There's only 2 Thanos books that you really need: the Thanos Quest and Infinity Gauntlet, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's what made Thanos. I don't. Who cares about first appearance? It's just stupid. Key issue. Take your key issues. I don't care. So, but yeah, so we were, I wanted to correct something from our previous episode, which was we were discussing domestic box office winners, the top.
Right.
And I really, for some reason, it just escaped me at the time. Yeah, a little bit of a brain fart. And I know this because people texted me that listened to it. They texted me the correction. But Force Awakens is the all-time domestic king
I thought it was.
at 936. Number 2 is Avatar at 760.
Okay.
Titanic at 658. Number 4. Do you know? Want to take a guess on number 4?
Gone with the Wind.
Jurassic World.
Damn it.
652. Now, given this is completely different if we're adjusting for inflation.
Right,
Because
okay.
I'm pretty sure the 4th of all time with inflation is like The Sound of Music. Okay, E.T. still up top 5. Okay. Inflation is a different.
Right.
Okay, and then number 5 we have The Avengers at 623. Now, worldwide, we do have Avatar
Okay.
at 2.7 billion. Titanic at 2.1 billion. Force Awakens at roughly 2 billion. Jurassic World 1.6 billion.
Okay.
Marvel's Avengers 1.5 billion. Which, like, again, it's amazing that Jurassic World and Force Awakens are almost like brother and sister. There are these perfect type of
Reboot, bringing it back. Let's
Like-
see what magic we can make
like,
happen.
Similar plot, similar conflict, different characters,
Right.
but just a familiar flow that you can hook in on. And I don't care. I love Jurassic World. I love that freaking movie. Even the end when the thing from the pool comes.
The sea monster,
Yeah,
the
I don't-
cameos.
Yeah, I don't care. But like, because a lot of people criticize that, But I'm thinking, like, just the way how I look at it is if you're that big of this like Indominus Rex, that creature, would have some type of skill to hunt from the shore, like to hunt what's on the shore. It might be able to detect something that big.
I feel like he could just see it. It was all clear glass. I feel like if he got that close to shore, he's getting beached.
Yeah, but he was above the pool,
Right.
and they came out. Yeah.
Right, but he was still over top of it.
Yeah, he was.
T-Rex
Yeah.
backed him up to
Yeah, and I just, to me, that just, all right, it's convenient, but but so's the T-Rex showing up at the end of Jurassic Park.
Oh,
How does he even get in there? We don't know how he gets into the into the lobby of the Jurassic Park theme park in Jurassic Park. But So I wanted to correct that. And did you have a correction?
I did. So, Jediism, not the official religion of England. 53% of people in England wanted to vote it to become a real religion. Their version of Congress vetoed it.
And that would be Parliament, right?
Yes, thank you.
Parliament.
Couldn't think of the word. Title.
England has taken a hit in my eyes. It's amazing it even got that close. I can't believe it. Why wouldn't they want the Harry Potter stuff? You would think 99% of the people would vote for Harry Potter since they have so much pride in.
Does Harry Potter have a religion now?
Well, they have like the
I
magic.
feel like you could just call yourself a wizard. They have like Wiccan exists.
But they have stuff. They have so much detail in those books that I would assume that there's like,
well, there's
like,
pure bloods and there's
or
mud bloods.
something. Yeah, but there's like a methodology in the practice, which is like J.K. did all that.
Oh yeah.
Like I would say, I definitely think when it comes to that stuff, there would be more in Harry Potter than there was ever in Star Wars, just based on the source material.
People were proud of Pinewood.
Yeah, Pinewood Studios. So yeah, so today's discussion was going to be Marvel,
Right.
Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Ah, yes.
and this excludes Fox's X-Men, Sony's Spider-Man,
Could exclude.
Fox's Fantastic Four.
I was under entail. We were talking Marvel movies.
Oh, this was Marvel Cinematic Universe. Fox's Daredevil, Elektra, Punisher 1 and 2, Punisher Warzone being the second one, Ghost Rider,
Okay.
Spirit of a Vengeance being Ghost Rider 2, and the straight-to-video Main Thing movie, which is long forgotten. And so, essentially,
Forgot Blade.
I did forget Blade.
You did.
1, 2, and 3.
You did. You forgot 1978 Doctor Strange.
Well, we're not that...
A counts.
Well,
A
we're
counts.
kind of talking modern era.
Punisher went theatrical too.
Yeah, but it's the that Doctor Strange was
Roger
made.
Corman, Fantastic Four.
Well, that was unreleased.
You're slacking, sir.
No, the point was not to list.
It's not unreleased. I have
Yeah,
it at home.
but-
I can watch it
and
right now.
The Doctor Strange is a made-for-TV movie.
So is Shield.
Oh, yeah, but at the same time, we're talking more modern day.
We could be.
So the reason why we would exclude these movies is because we don't want to confuse people with what is considered the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, we break it up. That's why they're listening, to learn.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Well, it's where are you with like the X-Men franchise though?
I could take some. I could leave some.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Well,
Where are we?
Which one? Well, like, what are your go-tos?
My go-tos, I always have a soft spot for that first one because that one made me fall in love with the X-Men. I was in 2000. I was 10 when that one came out.
movie
I was
just pissed me.
target audience. Oh, it made me mad too. They should have never played Cyclops down like that. That's the biggest slap in the face out of all the X-Men movies for me being a Cyclops fan. Colossus too. They both get screwed. If you're not a Wolverine fan, the movies aren't necessarily for you.
Yeah, but it's still also that they had to make a decision. I still think if there was only
Oh yeah, it never would have made it as far as it did without Hugh Jackman
and-
being Wolverine.
and it's also, let's say it only went one movie. Doing what they did with Wolverine would have been amazing.
Right.
Like just to have that.
Yeah, no, that would have been. It wouldn't have bothered me. But the
Like-
fact that the other ones never got their due in the team movies, that's where it just kind of.
Yeah.
Even having Halle Berry do one-offs in like each movie, it's just it's a damn shame.
Yeah, the X-Men franchise just seems to be able to keep going.
Yeah,
That,
it's got
every now and
there's
again
so
it
many
gets, it gets a
characters.
jolt. But not like none of the movies have had the X-Men.
no.
Okay.
And none of them really stick. They always rewrite each other,
Well,
step on each other's toes.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned about that because none of it really, when I say none of it makes any sense, like none of it ever, like even if we talk about the Marvel movies, the path to the formation of the Avengers makes no freaking sense. If you take the Incredible Hulk cutscene, what happens in Iron Man 2 and what leads into the Avengers, makes no sense. There is no linear logic or linear like thread that you're like, oh, the formation of the Avengers, because of essentially they were kicking Tony Stark out because of
Right.
his mental problems.
Right.
And then Tony Stark was recruiting General Ross to help form the Avengers. And then General Ross is trying to shut down the Avengers in Civil War. So it's just kind of like, it's just like none of it makes sense. And
Right.
that really doesn't bother me. Like what kind of gets me sometimes is when you don't see like what the intent is, because none of the X-Men movies have the X-Men being X-Men at all.
Right. It's always the last 5 minutes, if that.
But they're not even a team. Most of the time the team forms at the end of the movie. This
Right.
happens in just by all of them, other than Days of Future. The future X-Men act like the X-Men the most.
Right. And they keep dying.
And
Spoiler alert, they die continuously.
It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler alert.
I know. I was kidding. If the movie's
if
2,
the
3,
movies,
4,
yeah.
70 years
Yeah.
old, hey, guess what? Sonny Corleone gets lit up at the toll booth if you haven't seen The Godfather. Sorry to inform you.
Yeah, so it's really in Days of Future that you see the X-Men combining powers.
Right.
Okay, and that's the best part of that movie. Even though I think Days of Future is the absolute best X-Men movie,
Oh, yeah. Hands down.
because it really shows you that like a side adventure for the X-Men is them rewriting time.
Yeah.
Like that's how powerful they are. The Avengers are not even that powerful.
Not yet.
Yeah, the X-Men, a full force X-Men team should be able to rip apart the Avengers relatively quick. It's not even a contest. I know for the sake of comic books and all this, sales and drawing out storylines, but
Right.
but if you have a Omega level mutant like Jean Grey, there's nothing Thor can do
Look,
against her.
between Scott not being able to miss with his eyes, because all he has to do is look at you and you're blown apart, Wolverine not being able to die, and the Marvel Universe's two strongest sidekicks on one side. On one side, now they're
Yeah.
screwed.
I mean,
The Avengers are.
If the Avengers have Hulk, there's
someone
chance.
there to keep Wolverine busy. That's about it.
There's a chance, but at the same time, the two of them also have a history,
Right.
and Wolverine can conceivably can take down the Hulk
Yes.
based on him able to take punishment.
Right.
So I mean, but at the end of the day, the Hulk cannot block a psychic blast from Jean Grey
Fair enough.
or the White Queen
Okay.
or Professor Xavier. Like these people can get shut down before they even start to fight. That's how powerful the X-Men are.
That makes sense.
Okay, and you never see it because
The only chance the Avengers have is Wanda going Scarlet Witch, going full blown
but
God mode if you're gonna give her those kind of powers.
But I will say this too, that was the House of M.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't read House of M, I do recommend it.
Okay.
Because it's a very well constructed story, but it's written by Brian Michael Bendis, awesome artwork by Oliver Coupier. I forget the guy's name. Oliver Coop. Really nice, and the guy has like a like he doesn't do like crazy angles. Like everything's kind of like facing.
Okay.
Like he has such an interesting style in the way how he breaks up the line work. Like they've really got like a good artist for that. And so what that book did, it cranked up Wanda.
Right.
It also destroyed like the whole idea of her character. 'Cause
Okay.
It's stupid, just stupid, lazy, too powerful, and that helped destroy the Marvel like continuity,
616.
just everything.
Okay.
Like they were never able to recover from House of M, because it's completely ridiculous. It's ridiculous that she's that powerful. If she's that powerful, like she should be hanging out with the Living Tribunal.
Yeah.
Like she should not be even on Earth. She should not even be allowed on Earth. Doctor Strange should be shutting her down. It's just stupid.
No, that all makes sense.
And Doctor Strange is awesome because he comes from like this line of power, understanding, and knowledge it's a discipline.
Right.
Okay. He's like a keeper of the flame.
Right.
Him having like being underpowered by just a mutant that just wakes up and gets the power, it's just stupid. Like that type of power in the Marvel universe needs to exist within something like Doctor Strange, like a caretaker.
Right.
That's the only way to explain why things constantly don't fall apart, and
No, it makes sense.
why stuff like this doesn't happen like every third Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we do live in like the post Michael Bendis era, within the comics. So
Well, now it's all over. They're like mixed with Terrigen. Some of Beast is like an Inhuman now or something.
Yeah,
like they're
it's-
all. But what they were doing in Marvel now with the like all new X-Men, where the 1960s ones, their younger selves
Yeah, it's
came
just-
to. That
that's-
was so good.
it
That was so good.
I'm not saying some of this stuff's not good. I think some of the ideas are just fantastic. Again, Civil War, fantastic. Siege, fantastic. Even what they tried to do with the heroic age, fantastic. Dark Reign, fantastic. Secret Invasion, fantastic. There's so much good there, but each one of these is a status quo shifting event, and they ran out of stuff. That's why they multiversed, so they went the DC route, and there was no like Wolverine as Old Man Logan, and he's running around with the X-Men, and it's just stupid. It's an alternate timeline Wolverine. Like, was they have any business doing with the Marvel proper X-Men? And that's what I mean. Like, it gets you into a corner,
Right.
and the clock was ticking as soon as they forwarded some of the ideas from House of M. Like, when House of M really kind of took its tentacles and went into the Marvel continuity. And like I view House of M, it's like same way how like the fall of DC was Identity Crisis,
Okay.
and they could not get away from doing the Crisis. They kept doing the Crisis every single year until they ran into the New 52, because they were just out. They were just out of stuff, and they were like, well, there's no more alternate anything to pull from now. There's no more alternates. We just have to like just take what we can. It's almost like the house is burning. Like save what you can.
Yeah, right,
And put
and
it over
run.
here. Yeah, put it over here. And and New 52 did not. I don't think that lasted 6 years. I don't think that
No.
even lasted 5 years.
No, it lasted like 4, maybe 3.
Yeah. So New 52.
Rebirth came, and even before Rebirth, there was something.
Well, I think it might have been Convergence. And then Rebirth is the new status quo for DC.
Right.
But before Rebirth was Convergence,
Okay.
which was meaningless.
Yeah. Well, you had Jim Gordon in a mechanical bat suit,
Yeah.
and Batman was off finding himself.
Yeah, it's just weird. So, but
Question: what do you think the first Marvel movie ever produced was?
produced.
Yeah, put out the first ever.
Are we talking in theaters?
We're talking the first Marvel production.
Would
What do you
be-
think it was?
The Captain America serial.
Yes.
The black and white serial.
Yep, 1944.
Yeah.
You know what the follow-up to that was?
No.
It's not really a cat movie. Howard the Duck, 1986. Marvel sat out a good 40, 42
Well,
years.
Here's the thing: when we were younger, when they came for Marvel and DC, okay, DC always had the bigger media.
Right.
DC had amazing animation,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not saying Marvel didn't have theirs, but DC was real tight.
No, yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
DC actually kind of had better video games. I thought. Marvel always had the X-Men arcade,
Okay.
which you can't beat that. Even the 6-player cabinet one is so freaking sweet. But DC had the movies, even though there was no such thing as a connected universe then, but they still had better flicks.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, they had them. Yeah, all you had back then between 1944 and 1986 were the Richard Donner Supermen.
Yeah.
Really?
but the thing is though, even before Superman though was the Batman live action series,
Right.
Which was
1966.
it premiered after the Super Bowl, and it was the highest rated TV show at one time. Highest rated
yeah.
premiere.
Oh, I believe it.
Okay. Somewhat of a cultural phenomenon. It was coming off of the Warhol 60s. That's where the popism came from. a lot of that look from that show can be contributed to what Andy Warhol put into the culture.
Okay.
Okay, so this was where like the sudden shock was when '89 rolled around. Like there was only one type of Batman that people
Right.
imagined.
Holy gee willikers,
Yeah.
Batman.
It was just fun.
Although that is one of my favorite moments, not to switch to DC here, but one of my favorite moments in Batman or Batman Forever. When Chris O'Donnell does the holy rusted metal Batman.
Yeah, well,
No, really, it's holy rusted metal Batman. Like when the structure's coming up
yeah,
where
because
Two-Face dies.
he looks at him like he's crazy. He's like, it's holy. It's like it puts his like
It's holy rusted.
Yeah. DC too had a Superboy TV show. They had a Swamp Thing television show, and they had the Flash TV show. So going into
I love that Flash.
yeah,
show.
going into the 2000s, they even had Smallville.
Right,
So the media side of the comics was all DC Comics.
right.
And
I mean, we had, the David Banner Hulk show. And
yeah.
there were some
But-
TV
but then
movies
again,
in
but
there.
the thing is, though, it's like, but that's what I mean. Like when it's measured, you have the Hulk, but then you have the Wonder Woman
Right.
show,
Mhm.
and DC constantly one upped, and then I guess what happened was the Fox X-Men movie comes out,
Right.
and then we have the first Spider-Man movie.
I have a list right here. 1989, The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren. Great crap movie. Nothing like The Punisher,
Yeah.
but just a good action flick.
But that was like, so here's the thing too. The thing to add to the Punisher was the Punisher was a part of this resentment people had towards comic book movies. Like the base, the core, the people that actually,
Ooh.
the people that no go for it.
Funnel cake beers. That's fun.
That's a no go.
I mean, it's gonna go down.
Yeah.
It just wasn't.
I don't think you were expecting the.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I told you it was sweet. I told you it was sweet.
I just thought it was beer, man. What do you want?
So the core of comics, the people that absorbed the content, rebelled against the live action stuff,
Right.
because they were consistently shot down and disappointed. So there was like a time where the best comic book movies were like DC, not Marvel, based on comics but not superheroes.
Makes
So,
sense.
To me, like at one time, if you excluded the Tim Burton Batman '89,
Mm-hmm.
the Superman 1 and 2, if you took those away, your most accurate comic book films was Warren Beatty's Dick Tracy,
Okay. Right. That's a good one.
The Flash, or Flash Gordon. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
Okay, and people knock that movie because it's kind of disco and
Flash.
shiny.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's
Savior of
it's
the
very
universe.
accurate to what that property was. Okay,
Mhm.
like right down to the very beginning of the movie, and then you have The Crow,
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
and then you have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
That one's up there.
and so that was it.
Are we going as late as From Hell, or is that too late for that?
Well, from Hell is like you can put that there, but From Hell people didn't care.
Well, that one's
resonate.
late 90s.
'Cause,
Those
yeah,
ones are
but
early,
but you
so
can
I'll give
also
you that.
but you can also argue, look, based on the comic book, is the like adapted from a comic book or graphic novel doesn't really mean it's a comic book.
Right.
From Hell, Road to Perdition, I believe, Karate Kid,
I couldn't tell you. I could tell you American Splendor.
American Splendor, Ghost World.
Okay.
Okay, but Karate Kid, I'm pretty sure if you watch the end of that movie, has the DC Comics logo because they owned the rights to Karate Kid. Karate Kid was, I believe, a Superboy sidekick or friend, or he was the Legion of Superheroes.
Okay.
They owned the Karate Kid. They owned that name, and it was a Warner Brothers movie. So there was the collusion of Warner Brothers and DC, one that
Okay.
still exists today. So you can even argue Karate Kid technically is from a comic book, but
yeah.
but the content's not. It's just in title alone.
Gotcha.
Okay, but yeah, so
The Punisher went direct to video here, but it
Yes.
had international release in theaters.
yeah.
Do you know what the next one was after that? This one's gonna sting a little bit.
Let me just go from memory here. Are we talking theatrical or straight to video?
Would be.
Oh, well,
That gives it away.
well, would be, yeah, would be Captain America.
Yep,
the
the old
1990.
1990.
Yeah, with the Italian Red Skull. Have you seen that?
I got
I guess-
halfway through
okay, I
it.
guess-
I got the Shout Factory Blu-ray
Okay,
updated
well,
all nice,
if you got halfway through, you would have seen that the Red Skull is Italian. He's not German.
I had Kearns and Rach was there, and we
Oh,
were drinking
okay.
and playing games. It was in the background,
okay.
so
Yeah.
It was more checking the disc to make sure it was
Okay.
not going to skip or anything.
Yeah, so that was like a that movie was supposed to have been released into theaters until it didn't.
Right,
You
the
know?
one that stings.
Yeah, I mean, but, like watching it though, there's a huge chunk of that movie that doesn't have any Captain America in
Oh,
it
I
at
believe
all.
it.
Like,
I
it's
just
the-
keep thinking back to that story about little Pete DeLuca in 1990, seeing the poster hanging
Yeah.
outside of the theater, getting all excited, and then the movie never coming.
yeah.
That was kind of like Trick or Treat for me, because that one was supposed to go to theaters, and 4 years later, it's sitting on a Walmart shelf. Like, hey, here it is. We just released it. I hope you
Yeah.
like it.
Well, it's still kind of to the point that it didn't even deserve to come out.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Like
I did see some of
If
it.
it was good, like you would be pissed. But usually, movies that don't get released don't deserve to get released.
Yeah, there's a reason
There's-
Roger Corman's is buried.
Well, there was financial reasons for that. Yeah, like it wasn't from anything to do with the quality. Not saying that the quality is good.
Yeah, I was gonna
either
say
way.
we've both seen it. Don't try.
But
and...
there was economic.
I haven't watched
reasons.
the documentary.
Yeah.
Yet, so.
Well, even before the documentary, it was kind of common knowledge within the sphere of geek that that movie was made to maintain the rights. And I'm pretty sure that the same producer is the one that took it to Fox. Like,
Okay.
he eventually got to make his movies. I think he produced all three for Fox.
Right on.
Same guy. Okay. So so you can kind of argue that the strategy worked. You know, like he got the big release he wanted.
Yeah. Just took him a couple years.
Yeah, I mean, like again, it's like this stuff is trial by fire.
Oh, definitely.
You know, it took about 3 decades.
Oh yeah, we're getting there. So we're only at
Yeah.
1990. We just discussed the 1994 non-released again. Roger Corman, Fantastic Four. Any idea what the follow-up to that one was?
To the Fantastic Four.
Yes. Bit of a
Marvel.
gap here.
Yeah, let me. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit because the only thing that's coming to mind now is X-Men.
Nah, by 2 years, Blade hits from New Line Cinema.
Yeah,
in
I keep
98.
forgetting Blade. Yeah, so Blade really was the
The springboard, if you will.
yeah the point zero or like the 0 hour, the 0 issue of all of this. Yeah, but I mean, they really should just put the Wesley Snipes Blade into the Marvel movies now.
The way they keep talking, because Wesley Snipes always has something to say about, and the back, just make a Netflix show for God's sakes and tie it all in, please.
Yeah, I mean, Netflix would be a good avenue.
Because then you could wrap into Ghost Rider, who's been on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this past season for a little bit.
Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah, I've been watching S.H.I.E.L.D.
Is it
consistently.
good?
It got better.
It was so bad.
It was. You're better off just starting with season 2 at that point. It's not even like the show's not bad. Just most of the episodes you could leave, but then
Yeah.
there's those This season's probably been the best so far, with the Inhumans last season kind of
Yeah.
really starting to bring it around.
It's just like
The first season was trial and error, and it failed. The second
Yeah.
season was like trial, we're getting better. From 3 on, it's been a solid.
Yeah.
All right, Shield's on. I'll watch it or
Like-
I'll record it.
like usually, if a show doesn't really capture my interest in a couple minutes, I'm done.
See, for me,
I'm
it was
so
the
freaking done.
constant promise of tie-ins, and it's Marvel,
Yeah.
Universe, it's the MCU. Even though Joss Whedon, the big jerk, has been like, well, Coulson's still dead in my movie universe, so you kind of separate him out there alone, where it's not
Yeah.
really in the universe. And aside from like a Nick Fury cameo and 2 of them in season
Yeah.
1, that's it. They keep bringing Sif
So
back.
what? So Samuel Jackson was in
2 episodes.
Was he like in the episode, or was he just
No,
having,
like
a walk on?
walk on in one of them, and then
Kinda
a
like-
walk off in like the season finale. I think he gives Coulson his new plane, and then that's
Kind of like an Age of Ultron cameo,
right.
where he's like, "Hey, here's something that you guys might need.
Yeah,
Here's a helicarrier. I have to go."
yeah,
So okay, so we get Blade, then we get X-Men.
right. 2000, we have X-Men. 2002, we got 2 big movies:
Spider-Man and Daredevil.
Spider-Man and Blade 2,
Oh, Blade too, yeah.
which
The
brings
blood
us
pack.
another Ron Perlman classic, because the man's been acting forever. He
Yeah,
hasn't
it's-
aged a day.
Blade 2 is such undervalued.
Oh
movie.
yeah,
there's-
I used to hate the idea of those like mutant but now it really grew
it's
on
just
me over
kind-
time.
like, you know what it is? It's a little bit of like, there's like the Secret War, there's escalation,
Right.
there's Civil War,
That
there's
nightclub
infighting.
scene is just with
Yeah.
the blood fountain and oh man.
Well, you know, Donnie Yen is Snowman in that.
Right.
And,
Yep.
He has this one sequence where he throws his sheathed sword
Mm-hmm.
to the face of one of those vampires, and he catches the sheath, and then he pulls the sword out and like slices the dude in half, and it's such a cool like, don't mess with me.
Early Norman Reedus movie.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. He plays a little asshole.
And it's also what's his name from Pacific Rim directed it. Guillermo del Toro.
Did he really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, he was like, you can kind of tell, because all his creature design, going back to Mimic, like Mimic, Blade 2, Pacific Rim. Pain's Labyrinth was a little bit more whimsy, but there
Okay.
was still shades of it. Hellboy,
Right.
Hellboy 1, especially. Hellboy, The Golden Army. I have to double check that one. I've only seen that once, but I don't think that had any of his signature looks for creatures. But
Maybe one troll was kind of.
yeah, but mostly, like, you mostly know, like, same as like J.J. Abrams, like how similar the creature from Star Trek, the first one that came back, and then the creature from what was the 80s movie with the kids,
Movie.
Super 8.
Okay.
Yeah, like how the
Oh yeah,
creature design-
Cloverfield and
yeah, in Cloverfield, like, they all have these similar kind of like bubble gum. Like, his creatures, to me, always look like bubble gum with teeth. Yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah, but like, people have aesthetic, and they're drawn to things, and they hire the same people for every movie to develop it, because it's easy. It's like, if you have a gun held to your head and you have a deadline, and you gotta start producing, you're going to fill a room up with people that
Yep.
understand your language and can put things on tables.
Right.
And like, it's that simple. It's nothing. It's somewhat nepotism, but it's also productivity. Like, that's why, like, if you look at Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro,
Right.
like, that's why they work together.
There's tons of duos like that.
Or DiCaprio and Spielberg at one point, and DiCaprio and Scorsese right now, to where you can hire this guy, you know how he works,
Right.
and you're not under the stress of like training someone, learning someone's ticks, and you can arrive to like these like flow states more readily, more
Right.
easily. Okay, and that's the only. It's nothing to do with, like, it's not really even laziness. It's your own.
It's knowing you can work with that.
Yeah.
Like Tim Burton has his stable of actors.
Yeah, he
if
does.
You will.
Yeah, and it's just, I'm not even sure we have some.
Sweet baby Jesus.
What is that noise?
I think someone has a jackhammer on your roof.
No, that is a low flying helicopter.
Right.
Probably a medical one.
Ah,
Going, yeah.
Gotta love the
woke
city.
up. It woke up Dallas.
damn.
Dallas
little
was
guy.
sleeping. But all right, so we have where are you with Spider-Man?
I really wish, aside from that god awful third one, I really wish Tobey Maguire could have stuck it out for another couple of years. And I feel like 1 and 2 for that. The villains were solid. As much as Blade fits into the MCU, I feel like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man would fit well into the MCU.
I mean, it's just look, Spider-Man's a lot like Batman. The origin is so tight.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter.
I feel
Like,
ya.
you know, like, it doesn't matter who plays them. If they do an origin, if they don't do an origin.
Oh yeah, I'm just
like,
talking stylized wise.
yeah,
I feel
it's just-
like
yeah, I mean, like, it fits.
like Doc Ock looks good.
But same does, like, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man fits. This new kid fits. They're all. It's all the
I
same.
could take the Andrew Garfield behind.
Yeah, you know what? They kind of lost their way with those movies.
Yeah, they became, we don't want to lose the rights, got to make a new one.
Well, it wasn't that. I mean, like, they were.
And the cash grab.
Well, not so much the cash grab. They were intending to grow Spider-Man into his own universe.
Right.
And they kind of did start with the right intentions, which was like, let's maximize his origin and go to his parents, which is somewhat in canon because they retro canon his parents as being agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
in the Marvel comics. That was pretty sure that was revealed. Marvel did a flashback 0-issue event that was revealed in the Amazing Spider-Man 0 issue. Okay, that his parents were agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's how they disappeared. Secret mission. Blah 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 blah. In the Ultimate Universe, Brian Michael Bendis retro that, you know, because he was doing his own thing, he was able to, but I think the father developed a cure for cancer that led to his disappearance.
Okay.
That cure for cancer was the venom. It was venom, like it was this you know, like chemical or whatever that could attack and heal cells. Then it just goes crazy and creates venom, or it created Carnage first.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. But that was the origin of Venom, and the origin of Spider-Man to some degree in the Ultimate Universe. But it's kind of like, I really don't think, you know, when it comes to those movies, like when it comes to the Amazing Spider-Man, like they promoted that movie with like, this is what you don't know about his parents,
Right.
and you never got that delivered. And then there was weird cutscenes with the father showing up at like the funeral, like stuff like that. And then like some of the scenes that they promoted in the first one ended up in the second movie, and you never got anything delivered about his parents in either movie.
Right.
Okay,
Just goes nowhere.
Yeah, and really, like you can argue that any Spider-Man movie is a cash grab. You can argue that any Batman movie is a cash grab.
Yeah.
It's just guaranteed. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they were going into Amazing Spider-Man wanting this, like...
Oh, yeah. They had already said when they were talking
big
about the
hope.
first one that they had planned to go on to do
Yeah.
a Sinister Six, and we're building towards
and-
all of this.
And if you look into how they centralize everything around Oscorp, like, all right, it's convenient, but...
That's
Sure.
Spider-Man.
Like, why the hell not? You know?
It is Oscorp, unless it's Kingpin, but they don't
Well,
technically.
yeah,
they
but-
can't do that at that
But
point.
if you go through the origins of Kingpin, Scorpion, Vulture, Hammerhead, like all the earlier guys, the Lizard, like they're not centralized. They're all random
Oh, yeah.
origins. Like, you know, but they
Sandman's a bank robber. This
Yeah.
guy's that guy.
Well,
this
yeah.
guy does this.
and they
I'm into birds.
and in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, they centralize everything around Oscorp,
Right.
which was, you know, like I said, it was convenient. It worked. It was explainable. I thought the kid that they had for the new Osborn kid, the kid from Chronicle.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but he seems to be in the run of movies now. He's got a lot of movies coming out.
Okay.
Okay,
I saw he was in that Cure for Wellness, right?
Cure for Wellness and Valerian, City of a Thousand Planets,
Okay.
which is from, what's his name, from the director of Fifth Element. I'm forgetting his name. I want to say John Bonan.
I don't know. I just like to say directors with funny names when I get a chance.
Yeah.
So
but,
I'm just gonna.
But the director of
sit this
Fifth
one out.
Element made this movie. It's based on a graphic novel.
Okay.
And this was the graphic novel that he read when he was a kid that inspired the Fifth Element, which is kind of funny. Now he got to make both. But anyway, he's in that. But he was a great choice for the new Harry Osborn.
Makes
Because the
sense.
kid just looks off. He looks like he's a little bit crazy.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that kid's a psycho off the camera. I can feel it.
So what I really think destroyed Amazing Spider-Man was Jamie Foxx.
Really?
I
think it was Andrew Garfield.
Nah, he
He
was
stuff going on behind this. It was constant.
He was good in that movie though. You cannot watch any scene with Jamie Foxx in that movie. If you took out Jamie Foxx is in that movie because you have to sell the movie, and for whatever reason, that's who they ended up with.
Well, he was hot coming off of Django. That's exactly why.
Yeah, well, what? Yeah, or like, but you don't know.
Because that's the same ball. Well, I mean, as
you don't
far
know
as like him
because-
being a seller,
but-
because before that, what has he been in besides Ray?
Well, he's still an Oscar winner.
Oh
like,
yeah, I'm
he's
not
still,
denying
he's still
that.
used
He's
to
got
headline
his.
movies.
I love
Like, you
Held
know?
Up. That's a great movie.
Well,
Jamie
it's like-
Foxx is funny.
Like he
but-
headlined Miami Vice, The Kingdom. Like he was they put him in front of these movies. But the thing is though, like I said, for whatever reason, how they end up with these guys, I'm pretty sure they had to have been signed off on them before Django even came out. So it's not like Django came out and they're like, we have to get Jamie Foxx. He's out. You know, like sometimes these things just like flow together.
Right.
But at the same time, whoever it is, sometimes like you have to carry the movie, and that movie was set up for the real headliner to carry it, which was not Andrew Garfield. They wanted a name to carry that movie, and they just like I don't know, like you can I still to this day those scenes are so
Look, the lesson is don't f with what's there, and they changed Shocker way too much, or Electro, or
Yeah,
I don't even know who he was.
he was Electro.
They changed him way too much.
Like what do you mean, like visually?
Yeah,
You-
well, I
like-
mean, visually, you'll never be able to get the
but-
costume spandex
Yeah, right.
on screen.
It's-
That's not.
Well, it's like you'll never get the headpiece.
Yeah,
The
no,
head-
I'm not talking
but-
about
but-
the headpiece.
But the thing is, though, like when you say they went like too far off the source material, it's like what about the Shocker is even or Electro? What about Electro is?
Well, isn't
appealing?
his whole motivation in that movie that he wants to help Spider-Man, but Spider-Man
Yeah.
just says no?
Yeah, I mean, like, but it's still like presentation.
It
Like
just,
you know, like a lot of times, it's the ball bounces this way, the ball bounces that way.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Marvel
Like,
really
it's-
hasn't had many, I'll say, because they have had a handful. But they haven't had many really good He reminds me of Megatron, where it's just like sitting in a sandbox pounding sand.
Yeah.
I want to help, and you won't
Yeah,
let me.
It's still kind of like when you say Marvel, you're not saying Marvel. Like it's Sony.
No. I mean,
Like, like-
a good chunk of the MCU's villains are just very
Yeah.
flat, and
Well,
that's
I don't know if they're flat, but here's the thing. You spend one half of the movie like setting up how something works. Mm-hmm. Like this is how the Hulk works. This is how the Hulk works. This is how Iron Man works. Mm-hmm. This is how Thor works, and you understand, like, you understand the yes and the no's. You understand how things happen and how things don't, and the movie would be double its length if you had to do that for the villain.
yeah. No, I don't deny that. one
Like
bit.
the movie would just be longer. So if you understand like how Iron Man works, all right, you'll understand how the villain works.
Right.
Okay, and that's it's something that you have to do. I don't think there's any way around it. Like to do their origins the way they've been doing them, like they uncovered a formula.
They did, and they broke that one with Doctor
Yeah.
Strange, which I know you still need to see. Right?
Yeah. Well, I still
Well,
have to
once you
Doctor
see
Strange.
Doctor Strange and the way that plays out, you'll
Yeah.
know what I'm saying. With
Yeah, but even Doctor Strange is still set up with like here's like I never seen it, and just tell me if I'm off.
Okay.
Okay,
Will do.
And I'm talking in broad strokes to hopefully make a point. They spend a chunk of Doctor Strange explaining to you how things work. Okay, like this is how magic works. This is what we call it. These are the perimeters. So they educate the audience.
Okay.
The villains in some degree are opposites of that power. So if you learn it through Doctor Strange, you understand how the villains are operating. You don't have to educate the audience on two characters or two positions. You only have to educate them on one.
Doctor Strange actually kind of learned it from the villains.
Well, yeah, I know like the one guy turns, but it's the same thing, same exact thing. See, like they teach it one time, and they use it for the third act.
Right.
You know, and it's fine because imagine if you had to. I mean, it's they're pulling these characters from like what's already there to begin with, and I don't know why people are butthurt about that. Like, Red Skull was set up to be an opposite of Captain America. So does that qualify? Ironmonger was in the comic, like, you know, huge role in the comic book at one time.
Right.
He is an opposite of Iron Man. Titanium Man, Crimson Dynamo,
Right.
are other Iron Man villains who are opposites of Iron Man. Right.
It's all right. I'll put it all right. Like Malkeith and Ronan. They are cookie cutouts of each other. Loki, Malkeith, and Ronan. Aside from Tom Hiddleston, kills it as Loki. I'm not complaining one bit about Tom Hiddleston. But they're all just power hungry, cookie cutter. You could interchange them so easily.
But that's the way they are in the comic. Right?
I don't know.
Yes.
You tell me.
I mean,
you have 30 years.
yeah.
I have a couple of graphic novels.
But that's the way. Like, Loki isn't any more nuanced in the comic book than he is in the movie.
Well, he's probably one of the most nuanced at all.
Actually, he's probably more nuanced in that performance than he is in any of the comic books. So, like, but that's what I mean. Like, so the only one that I feel like was contrived was the Paul Rudd one, the Yellow Jacket versus Ant-Man.
Okay, see, for me, it's Whiplash too.
Well, okay, yeah,
Ant-Man, Whiplash.
yeah, but you know, like, I'll tell you one thing that kind of works for me with Iron Man 2 is Iron Man 2 essentially is just Iron Man 1. Like, it's just a long movie.
Right.
Okay? And if you kind of, you have to imagine, you have to add to it. But if you,
No, that's what I pay the movie ticket for. Dad, to afford me.
because you know you constantly love things that you add to. That's part.
Well,
that's part of that's a part of that dopamine drip that happens when you watch something. You're always adding to it.
Well, yeah, I added so much Rebel stuff to Rogue One.
Yeah, but the thing is,
But it's all there. I'm not making it up.
like if you view the Ironmonger coming out of Stark Industries to unravel this new technology that's Tony Stark created. Like, this new technology is a shockwave. They people want to unravel it, understand it, dissect it, use it, profit from it, and use it for their own, like, devices. Okay? Whiplash is from, like, a similar mind of Tony Stark. Justin Hammer is a similar mind of Tony Stark. Okay? Like, this is just, like, another thing that people are trying to understand. So, like, it's fitting that Tony Stark's competition comes up with his own Iron Man. And that's all Whiplash is. It's just another attempt at Iron Man.
Right.
You know,
But what they downplay is the whole fact that he's doing it because allegedly Tony Stark's father screwed his father, and that's why he lives in exile and grew up a criminal as opposed to the son of a prominent scientist.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, but
Like, see, that's the stuff that, like, while it won't make the movie an hour longer, they should explain a little bit more so that it's not read or
but
Ricky Mickey
Yeah.
Rourke comes out 6 months later and says, "Well, they trimmed this, this, and this." And
Yeah,
I
well,
wanted
they all say that. You know, Jared Leto was going buck wild about
Well,
the Joker.
let's
with his
just
cut
let's just
stuff.
hope he didn't get himself fired because
Yeah.
I want him to come back.
But real quick though, getting back to that point, like Iron Man 1 and 2 is about people who have nefarious purposes. Like they have a nefarious purpose to one up Tony Stark, and they fail.
Right.
Okay, not fail miserably, but they fail. Okay, and like that's the point of Iron Man 2. Okay, like it's because you had to see. I think it was important to see that Tony Stark, like Stark Industries, wasn't the only one doing this. That there is an opposite, and this opposite now it has ties also to the U.S. government, and I just think it's important, and it's I think sometimes like the expectation of people, like the expectations really kill it sometimes, and what we were talking about earlier, like what the popular opinion is, because a lot of times when you unravel stuff like that, it just it doesn't hold up,
Right.
Like it kind of exposes like a little bit of like sloppy thinking, and I'm not saying like Iron Man 2 is like a structurally similar movie. I think it has structure problems. I think it has there's a couple weak scenes in that movie. But then again, like anything with the Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson is great.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the Tony Stark stuff is great. The Justin Hammer, Mickey Rourke stuff is really good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, you know, like what people don't like is it's just kind of funny. Like you don't like the last 10 minutes of a 2-hour movie.
Well, I think it's
Like,
just
you know?
it's building these characters up and constantly just wasting them. Like you get these names attached, you get people excited about stuff, and by the end of the movie, 9 out of 10 they're dead. And that's going to be it from them because in these movie universes, it doesn't seem like people are coming back from the dead left and right.
Well, yeah, I mean, why? Like, would you want more Mickey Rourke? Would you want Mickey
Well,
Rourke
I mean,
showing up
not
right now,
necessarily.
or would you want?
Like I
mean-
all right. At the end of Captain America, we see Red Skull assumedly get transported somewhere into space since we find out
Yes.
that's what the Tesseract actually does. I wouldn't mind finding out that he's somehow like Thanos' right hand man since the role's
Yeah.
not gonna go to.
Yeah, I mean, look, they have.
But then we also have you get the big name actor behind it, and I don't want to play that one dimension. I don't want to get in that makeup again. I
Yeah.
don't want to. So
Right.
now Mr. Smith is out, and you need to.
But the thing is, that it's like these are still movies.
Oh yeah, I don't deny.
Like they're still movies.
They're cinematic adventures.
You know, and it's cool what they're doing, but that is it's very close to what I said earlier. Little of it even now makes any sense. But you add to it, it adds to the fun and it adds to like some of the speculation. Like I think the guessing is as much fun as any part of it. There's an industry right now that exists
yeah.
on YouTube off of people.
Well, the
guessing.
speculation now is that there's not going to be any Tom Holland in the Infinity War movie.
Okay.
Apparently, Spider-Man might be left out.
Yeah, it's okay.
No.
Why is he in the movie?
Because
Why would Spider-Man be fighting a galactic juggernaut that literally can destroy space and time with a snap of his fingers?
Because
does Spider-Man-
he was there in the book. You need a body count
No.
for that story.
No, you
need the body count. If you're going to do
They
that
got-
particular
have
story,
Enough, they have enough
no.
between the Avengers that can go into space and the Guardians of the Galaxy and who knows what else they can throw in there. They have an infinite pool
It's
of
the
characters.
same problem I had with Civil War. You can't have 5-on-5 and call it a war. It's a skirmish.
Well,
It's an back alley bar fight
Yeah,
in
I
an
think-
airport parking lot.
I think a little bit though. You're missing the definition of the title. It was the Civil War between Iron Man.
I know. They
it was
use
an
the titles of these
ideological-
groundbreaking titles, and they just rework
Well,
it so that it works.
what was groundbreaking about Civil War outside of Iron Man disagreeing with Captain America?
Well, I mean,
creating-
it tore the
a rift.
MCU apart to an extent.
Yeah, but it also kind of like to to some degree, yes. So that's exactly what the movie does. The movie's in
Oh yeah, I don't think it's on a grander scale.
The movie's in perfect tune to what they did with the
Oh,
comic.
yeah. I don't
but
deny
the
that.
comic, like, again, the origin for everything in the comic was them destroying a school and killing children. So
Okay.
would that make the movie better? Should that have been in the movie?
Maybe.
Let's just kill a bunch of kids.
Hey, maybe.
In the PG-13 movie with a juggernaut of merchandise that we have to sell.
Hey,
Right.
need I drop the spoiler bomb? Because
For
we
what?
just saw one of those, all right? I have a
did.
couple of the toys.
Exactly.
So, yeah, they could have. That is, you know, out of all the
Yeah.
graphic novel trade paperback one-shot craps I have,
Look, killing adults is way
Punisher
different.
kills. Oh, I don't deny
Is
that.
way different than killing children.
Look, if you put in hobo with a shotgun, two dudes with flamethrowers get on a school bus of like 5-year-olds and they light it up like a Cheech and
but that's
Chong
hobo with a
joint.
shotgun, and
Look.
no one's.
All
like,
right,
I think
and this
we're.
one woman.
I think we're the only two people that seen.
No. I know a
that
handful
movie.
of other people, just a
Like,
handful.
yeah.
My community has seen that movie.
But I'm just but
no, but like,
but
all
you
right,
can't compare it.
all right,
You
but
can't
by
compare
that
this to-
logic, one woman in Age of Ultron should not have been able to shake Tony Stark's to
Yeah.
that core.
You mean talk about in Civil War?
No.
No.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, she
Sorry,
approaches
sorry.
him in Civil
The-
War. No,
about the fallout
That's
from that.
no, that's 100% on point. That's what people miss. Here, I'll explain it. Okay. One of the arcs that we're seeing outside the arc of Captain America is the arc, and we will have an arc with Thor and Thor Ragnarok. There will be an arc of Thor. We've seen the arc of Captain America. The Iron Man arc is the one that's ongoing. Okay, because he is the body.
Well, he's their Wolverine.
Well, he's the body of the. He's way more than their Wolverine.
The way I've
He's-
been,
he's-
the way
yeah.
I've seen and heard it explained is
Okay.
he is it. The MCU is told through his perspective.
Okay, so in the first Iron Man, it's rich playboy, doesn't care.
Right.
He has this new world that awakens him.
Right.
Okay, where it's all comes down to the scene where he kind of flips out on Pepper, and he tells her that like completing this suit, going on these missions, like this is me now. Like, these are my missions. You cannot tell me I cannot go on these missions. Okay? We see a fundamental change of who Tony Stark is. Now, Iron Man 2 is just like an extension of him developing this like new mindset.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's him dealing with the fallout.
Well, okay.
The way he found to save his life is now killing him. So he's still on borrowed time.
Right. Okay. And then we have him making the ultimate sacrifice in the Avengers.
Right.
Okay. The character gets further deconstructed when he sacrifices himself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because he does things that even, those who've been through war, like Captain America, say he does not have the grit. So he is now a character that is constantly proving himself to his father, which is part of the legacy theme in Iron Man 2.
Right.
And to other soldiers who risk their lives. He wants to show them he can risk his life as much as they can. Mm-hmm. Okay. Iron Man 3. Further deconstruct the character now. Now he's snapping. He's eroding. He is working nonstop. He's not making the same decisions. He's losing the love of his life. His life within Iron Man 2 is literally falling apart.
Right.
Okay. Then we have our Age of Ultron, which is, it doesn't forward the character as much as it just kind of re-hit some of those themes that we saw in Iron Man 3.
Let me just say, I have not. That one is probably that. Thor: Dark World
Yeah.
are probably the two that I've seen the least. And it's not because I don't like them. It's just they're right in that middle.
Yeah.
Where I always say, well, once this movie hits Blu-ray, I'm going to start at Iron Man 1 and burn through them all. And I don't want to play those out and have,
Yeah.
And it just never ends up going that full circle.
Age of Ultron.
I might have to watch that when I get home.
Yeah,
now.
like Age of Ultron, what it does, it also stamps Tony Stark seeing loss. like seeing Quicksilver die, seeing
Right.
more life lost, because he's connected to, like, you can just say the people of Earth. He's connected to life on Earth more than Captain America.
Well, he's the everyman.
More-
Captain America's juiced up. Him and Clint are like
Yeah.
the two.
I mean,
you
well-
and me at our peaks
Yeah.
could be.
Well, here's the thing though. Captain America, it's not that he's juiced up. He's a main at a time. So he
Well, yeah, I
like,
mean,
he's-
power wise,
yeah.
he's not. Me and you
Well-
could never get to that peak.
Yeah.
Physical.
But the thing is, though, Tony Stark he is kind of like connected to people, okay, and he also has power,
Right.
okay. So this theme now is forwarded by that too in Age of Ultron. So in that scene that is pivotal in Civil War, when he gets approached about the death of this woman's son, this guy has like post-traumatic stress syndrome. He is snapping. He's already eroded, rusting from the inside out on a very deep level. That's why that movie opens up with that scene with him and like his father, because he's trying to go back to a time where
Right.
he didn't have that. He's trying to go back and dissect his
Fix it. He
Well-
wants to, if only out of state. If
Well,
only that's how it went.
well,
if only.
Well, I don't think he's trying to fix it.
Well, no, he can't
I
fix
think
it.
he's trying-
He's proving the point with the technology of.
I
I
think-
spent $10 billion for a therapy that.
I think he's trying
Isn't
to
gonna do crap.
I think he's trying to explore and dissect when it was good before it got bad. He wants to re-experience, even though these were these rough times with his parents.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best. These are the best moments that he has, because all the other moments forward are him being this selfish playboy that spread death across the globe, and then these other moments are him witnessing just death that he cannot stop. So I think it's perfectly fitting for him to get just that one thing that just changes his gears and forces his perspective and forces him to become like a man of action on another level.
Right.
Yeah.
See, but the biggest problem with that is, and I don't, everything you said is true, but the truest fracture of the team comes from that spoiler that we get from Bucky.
I think
From Winter Soldier.
Do we have a shot game that people have to take a shot every time you say spoiler?
We can.
Okay.
Look, I err on the safe side.
There's no such thing as any movie that is out, period, right now. There's no spoiler. If you haven't seen the, I think if you haven't seen the movies, I think if you've seen the movies, you're listening. If you
Fair
haven't
enough.
seen the movies, I don't think you're going to listen.
Fair enough.
I'm just saying that. Okay.
Could
But
be.
no. But get back to your point though.
But yeah, like the truest fracture of that movie comes from Bucky killing Tony Stark's dad and Steve Rogers knowing this information and not telling him. That's where that big fight that breaks them apart comes at the end.
Yeah, that was.
Like the accords come from and Tony siding with the government, the mom. But the true fracture is a non-one-dimensional villain from the MCU.
Well, yeah. Well, so what you talking about? Baron Zemo being dimensional or not dimensional?
No, I was talking about Bucky from Winter Soldier
Yeah, I don't
not
know if
being as much one-dimensional as a Baron Zemo or a Red Skull.
Yeah, but he's not really the villain though.
Not in that one.
You know, like he's not the villain at all. Right? I would argue he's an opposite of Captain America in in Winter Soldier. He's another opposite.
I would argue that he's the villain of Winter Soldier, if you will.
Well, I would say yeah, but he's a plot device and victim. He's a victim in Civil War.
Right.
But even
Well, he's a victim all along.
but even in Civil War, like he's still kind of Bucky, you know. Like he's
Well, yeah, by that point he's come around.
yeah,
He's,
but no, but he still reverts to his. He's kind of like struggling, like
well,
even
it's that
throughout
damn
movie.
code. It's the
Yeah, but
train car
yeah, but
mission report in 1996.
But yeah, I just that never really bothered me in Civil War because I kind of saw what they were doing with Tony Stark as a character in the 5 previous movies. You know, the 3 Iron Man and the 2 Avengers. You know, and like I said, him snapping doesn't really break that movie for me. But like to argue against this Marvel villain argument that people want to really believe as like an argument. You know, you had 2 Captain America movies back to back that had an opposite villain.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that. And you kind of had Iron Man 3 have a different villain, right? That was a new villain.
Oh, yeah.
Thor 2, new villain. Okay. You know, both Avenger movies, again, they weren't fighting against evil Avengers, just different hordes.
Right.
Right. Yeah, but still, okay. Like I really, but look how much Age of Ultron fell apart because they spent so much time explaining Ultron.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that movie just has its flaws throughout. It has it's you know, it's a Marvel movie. They put it together well. It fits into the universe and the story, but it just that one.
But what else do you have on your list?
Oh man, we actually ended up skipping a bunch there.
Well, we did, yeah. So what did we have after Spider-Man?
After Spider-Man, we got Daredevil, X-Men 2, and the first Hulk movie, all in the same year. So that was a big year.
Daredevil, X-Men 2,
Yep.
Hulk.
Yes.
Wow.
04, we got another big year with 3 punches to the gut with The Punisher, one of my personal favorites. Spider-Man 2, another personal favorite. And Blade Trinity, the first appearance of Deadpool without his mask.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Reynolds is pretty much playing Deadpool in that movie.
I thought well, he's always played Deadpool.
Well, yeah,
Every
that
role-
one, he's really
every-
extra wisecracking in that.
what's it-
And he's in Deadpool shape for
What's
that
it?
movie,
2
too.
guys, a girl, in the pizza place. He's playing Deadpool, or whatever the name of that sitcom was on. He's been Deadpool his entire career.
Oh, we
So-
are about to hit a rough spot, everybody.
I don't know the
05 to 07 was rough years to be a comic book movie fan. Elektra kicked off 2005. Fantastic Four came out. X-Men: The Last Stand 06. Not as hated now that they've retconned it, but
it's well, I mean, people look.
me personally,
I
I
think-
should say.
Here's the funny thing. Elektra is just not.
That's their
executed.
Catwoman.
Yeah, it's just not executed well at all. Fantastic Four, I think people had no. Fantastic Four is like close to where it was coming from.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's almost
close.
a straight adaptation of.
And outside of like what they did with Doctor Doom and what the clarity of their origin is, or the way how they presented the origin, but at the same time, I'm not sure what they can ever do with Fantastic Four to make that franchise a watchable movie.
I actually had that conversation at work.
Yeah.
Not too long ago with a guy, and what I had come up with was if the MCU ever got the rights back, the best thing that they could do, instead of trying to reboot a franchise and add it in there like they're new or something, you have it to where they've been broken up for years. The Fantastic Four were, but they're not anymore. You have Reed Richards working at S.H.I.E.L.D., being a brain. You can add him in. Like, you kind of separate them all, and then you could bring them back together if you wanted to, or you could just use them where you wanted to use them.
But that's not a Fantastic Four movie.
No, it's not a Fantastic Four
It's just
movie,
them.
but that's incorporating them into the MCU
Yeah.
if you had to go
Well,
that route.
you can, yeah.
I mean, families break up and get divorced all the time.
I do feel like Fantastic Four and Rise of the Silver Surfer.
And Ant-Man kind of set up that they could have been active in the past and disbanded, since we'd know that
It's just
covert teams and people have been.
I don't even want Fantastic Four in the Marvel Universe movies. I don't. The movie, they already have enough geniuses.
I kind of don't even want X-Men there because it's just going to make things more convoluted.
Yeah, no, I think X-Men has to be in there because they're the perfect opposite. Like they're a part. Believe it or not, here's a little bit of my perspective. The X-Men are a part of the cosmic side of
heavily.
of the Marvel comics.
Heavily.
They're a part of this bigger intention to protect the Earth.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you got the Brood, you got the Shi'ar Empire.
Well,
you got
it's not that. See, part of the cosmic
the
lore
Phoenix.
is that there is a embryo inside the Earth.
Okay.
Okay. The embryo is an embryo of a celestial.
Okay.
Okay. This is why these heroes protect Earth from being destroyed, from Galactus, from the Shi'ar Empire, and so on and so forth. And is because if the Earth gets destroyed, this baby dies.
Okay.
Okay. And the X-Men are a part of the Earth protecting itself by creating its own heroes. So the X-Men are a part of the cosmic side of the Marvel universe.
Okay.
It's critical. It's critical that they're in there. If they really want to push these higher concepts. Now, we're late. We're 14 movies in. It's too late now.
Yeah.
But
The Inhumans are going to be your X-Men.
well,
If and when they are. Well, on a side note, let's take a tangent. Inhumans, that should be hitting IMAX in 2017. That hour-long... The movie's scrapped, but ABC picked it up. It's going to be running concurrently with S.H.I.E.L.D. now on ABC.
Stupid.
IMAX is filming it. They're going full-blown, big-budget production on
you
the
can't
TV
shoot
show.
on IMAX. I think you can only shoot scenes in IMAX.
Well, it's
But
going to
they're
be presented in
They're going to be
IMAX.
presented in IMAX. So what's it going to be, like an hour-long thing?
Yeah,
It's just stupid. I have no interest in that.
I really don't either. They're no X-Men.
The Inhumans are... It doesn't matter if they're an X-Men or not. They're just not... They always work best as like a secret side group. They do not function well in the forefront. The Black Bolt, I know Black Bolt is powerful, but there's nothing appealing about the guy. There's nothing appealing about Lockjaw or Medusa. Like, what, you have a head of hair, that's your superpower? It's just dumb.
Hey, it works in Mortal Kombat. Sindel kick your ass.
Well, she worked so well in Mortal Kombat 2 Annihilation.
Hey, nothing worked well in that movie. Not even James Remar.
No, I think Silax, the robot dudes, they were on point. But yeah, it's just look, it's just like we will see. We will see. I do believe we will see something of the X-Men in the Marvel universe. Okay.
Eventually. One day.
But Fox does seem to have an interest to keep X-Men alive. X-Men and the Alien franchise are they're top two franchises, and they're all in on the two of them.
Definitely.
Okay, they can have a X-Men apocalypse and recover from it.
Well, yeah, it didn't lose them money. I don't think it did.
No, actually, I think it did. I think it kind of did pretty well combined with overseas.
Yeah.
Okay, but at the same time, it's the people who are behind these movies, they're not idiots. They know it's important for people to really have a vested interest and love for these movies.
Right.
Very important.
Right.
They know it's a part of their product.
They just step on their own feet.
Well, movies are complicated.
I don't deny that.
You have hundreds of people.
Look, you can try and
then you have-
justify anything
Yeah.
you're about to say. The fact that we had to wait until the last 30 goddamn seconds of Apocalypse to see all the X-Men suit up in their classic
Well,
suits instead of halfway through, there's no justification for it. Because you took the time to make those costumes for that 30-second shot, put Cyclops and Jean Grey in the mother effing costume
Yeah.
for the whole second act of the movie.
But that's not. But here's the thing, though. Like, it's still them trusting Bryan Singer. Bryan Singer that's been his franchise.
I'm not.
And
Look, you made the costumes.
like,
Utilize
they
them.
want.
Utilize them. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
For more than a scene. Maybe not even the whole second act.
Oh, yeah.
The last battle against Apocalypse,
Yeah.
have everybody suit up.
But it's not like it would have made the movie better.
It wouldn't have. But aesthetically, it would have been like, all right, at least you're trying. I appreciate that. I don't ever expect to see the 90s animated garb in a full, all-out movie.
But wait, do you think they're trying in Transformers?
I have not seen a Transformers movie since they melted Ironhide.
Okay, so that was the third one.
Yes. And I
Okay, well, you're
haven't
only
seen the second one more
behind.
than once.
Yeah.
Nah, there's like 5 now.
The fifth one's coming out.
I thought it was already out. I
It
thought
was-
6 was coming.
No, the Last Night is 5. The fourth one was Age of Extinction with Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where they are.
Right.
5 Transformer movies.
I have no
Yeah.
desire.
But what would you say that they're trying in those movies?
Define trying.
Well, they're constantly upgrading the designs. They're adding more backstory. They're intertwining the significance of Earth to the entire Transformer race per movie. Like they're consistently pounding the backstory.
I would say yes. They're trying to build a mythos, but there's just so many holes that I don't care.
But the thing is though, like knowing that they're trying doesn't make the movie any better. That's the point I'm getting at. Like X-Men in X-Men costumes in Apocalypse would never have like you might have been more pissed at that movie because you're like they use the costumes and they're using the costumes.
Yeah,
for
but I know
this.
they're not going to do the costumes in the next movie, so
Well,
we don't even if it's, especially if it's
well,
Dark
no,
Phoenix.
Look, here's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if the Apocalypse, X-Men Apocalypse was the end of this run.
Well, apparently, and I actually it's on the old
Is
paper
that
here.
on your notes?
Apparently,
Yeah.
the next one's actually scheduled to start filming in May of 2017.
Okay.
And it's official that at the very least, Michael Fassbender does want to stay on and continue the role. Whether his contract is up and it needs to be renegotiated, it's another story.
Well,
I don't know that.
Assassin's Creed has took a crap, so
Well,
He's-
I know
it's
for a
up.
fact he said like 2-3 weeks ago I want to stick
yeah.
with the
But
the
that doesn't
X-Men
mean they're
franchise.
going to stick with
Oh
it,
yeah,
though.
that doesn't mean they're going to do
I
anything.
mean, they can
but
make. I think they're with what happened with Deadpool. I think they're realizing that you don't need Magneto. You don't need Professor Xavier. You don't.
you just need a good
you know,
script.
you
need-
already. Well,
it's-
you already have X-Men movies without Wolverine.
You're
So
right.
You don't
That
need
movie
Wolverine.
right there is the prime example of what I've been saying about the closer you stick, the more the fans are going to be invested. Cyclops stays metal the whole time.
Yeah.
Looks pretty damn good. Not in his
Yeah.
classic red and yellow garb, but I can't complain about what he
yeah.
looks good. Deadpool. They didn't try and tone down the Deadpool costume. His eyes are still white, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can say the closer they stick, because like the Marvel movies don't stick.
No, they don't. But they also pull what they want. They have 75 years of mythos to pull that does stick.
Well, they have a internal methodology and formula to grind these movies out. Like it's a part of the culture of that studio, of the Marvel Studios. Like what they're doing with the X-Men movies is that they're just trying to make movies. They're just trying to make a movie, and like we're seeing like DC kind of fall apart, kind of crumble and struggle real hard, trying to do what the culture of the Marvel studio is producing.
Right.
It's the same as like how a lot of studios were trying to compete with Pixar when Pixar had that amazing culture. The culture within the company made those movies.
Right.
We've seen accurate comic book movies before. That, like, again, you can argue that the Ang Lee Hulk movie is an accurate portrayal of Bruce Banner's psyche and the Hulk. It's very accurate. Okay, it does not make that movie any better.
No.
Your goal should be to make great movies, make good movies, make them the best way. This is one of the reasons why I stand behind X-Men 3. X-Men 3 holds up as a movie. If you renamed everyone in that movie, the movie's good. The movie's good. Just because someone's named Wolverine doesn't mean what? Are you gonna reference Patch? Are you reference the Patch era in the X-Men 3 movie to know that the screenwriter read the comics? No. The Patch era was one of the worst eras in Wolverine comics. Forget that. Like you see what I'm saying?
I have no idea what the Patch is.
Yeah, well, he was known as Patch when his title launched in the 80s, when he got his own solo series. It was called Wolverine, but inside the book he was known as Patch. He had a patch on his eye. They did that for a couple of years.
Right.
Okay. If you make a Spider-Man movie, are you going to build towards the Clone Saga?
Why not?
No, you don't do that.
Why not?
Well, do you know what the Clone Saga was about?
No.
Okay,
But I know it's loved amongst fans and
No.
everybody would want it.
No, it's actually the most hated comic book story, probably next to them killing Hal Jordan. It's probably the most hated comic book story. Okay, the Clone Saga was when Marvel said, hey, you know Peter Parker? And people were like, yeah, we know Peter Parker. Well, the Peter Parker you know has been a clone the entire time. Well, what do you mean? Like, this year, this issue? No. Back to the 70s when this guy named the Jackal cloned him. And he kept Peter Parker and put this guy Ben Reilly in his place. So these 30 years of comic book continuity have not been Peter Parker. That was the Clone Saga.
Okay.
They practically derailed the character. That it wasn't until forget the guy's name that wrote. It's like kind of like Dane Slott. He was the guy that came on and kind of brought Spider-Man back, modern day guy. But they even went about 20 years, not 20, maybe like 15 years of recovering from that and recovering from One More Day.
Mm-hmm.
And the One More Day story is where they've retconned he was not married to Mary Jane.
Okay.
So they've just been abusing that character since the Clone Saga, just off mark.
Well, it doesn't really matter. Peter Parker's dead.
But that's the whole thing, though. There's more bad in the source material that you put.
Well, yeah, that's why I said there's 75 years, not 10 great years.
Yeah, but it's not even. But you're so generous when you say 75 years. Captain America's source material is so rich that they did one origin movie and they jumped right to the modern day stuff. Because there's nothing between. It's all crap.
Oh, yeah, it's why they killed him for 10 years and brought him back as an Avenger.
Well, I'm talking since then. Yeah. He came back in the 60s.
Yeah, I know.
He disappeared in the 40s, came back in the 60s. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, though, from the 60s to The Winter Soldier, that was written by Ed Brubaker in...
Well, yeah, because
you
could argue that 90%
in the 2000s, But the thing is, though, that's what I mean. Were they supposed to have done Captain America's movies with him in the 60s, in the 70s, and the 80s? There's very little for them to even, draw from. There was nothing for them to draw from for Iron Man. Nothing. Thor is the only one that has had arcs worth drawing from, and that's the Walt Simonson era. That was in the 80s. Okay, and that's it. That's what I mean. When you say stick to the source, it's they have a corkboard and they're like, what are our the best ideas, and they fill up that corkboard at the Marvel Studios. This is what they do, and that's it. So they go to the corkboard and they're saying this character is this, okay, and this is as far as we can go with them, and then they have to start creating for the movies. So eventually the movies are not going to be anything close to the comics outside of what they're newly introducing,
right?
Like the Doctor Strange,
which is why now all of the comics are based off of the movies. It's flip flopped.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but it's always been like that though. I remember when the Keaton Batman movie came out. Mm-hmm. Sam Hamm was the screenwriter. He started taking over Detective Comics when that movie was out. And it's kind of the Batcave, right, came from the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
So like for like the visual for the Fortress of Solitude came from the movie, from the Richard Donner movie that that got translated to the comic. I mean, it's always been there, because it's you want to sell more comics.
Right.
The people selling comics want to buy like a bigger house. They want to buy more cars, like, but it's always like that. I mean, is it any different than if the political tone of America produces views within Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns? No, it's the same thing. Like you're taking what's out there, what's in like the ether, and you're absorbing it into the comic book, into like your work, and you're spitting it back out.
Mm-hmm.
So like, but these guys see other movies, and it goes into the comics.
Yeah.
Like comics is one of the only mediums that you can track it, because they come out monthly, so you can actually see like a wave happening. And I think that's a part of what's wrong with comics now. Like they are, they've lost a little bit of that. Like like there's no nuance anymore.
It's not, for me. It's not even that. It's they can't keep shit.
They can't keep it.
No. Why? All right. Why do I want to go back and finish the all new X-Men run? I got like volumes 1 and 2. I got like the first 12 or like 15 issues.
You're talking about like the Michael Bendis,
the Marvel Now universe, if you will.
Okay.
So the all new X-Men 1960s meets current modern day. Scott Summers blew Xavier's head off, and he's the new Magneto.
Yeah.
Why do I want to read that when it barely got past the trial of Jean Grey with the Guardians, and Marvel Now is no more, and it's Marvel whatever? Why do I want to go and try and read all the 52 crap that I was into with the Dark Knight and Batman and all that when it barely, like, you had Marvel 616 for 19 whatever, and for like a 30-year run, it was all together in this universe.
Well, but
now every 5 years, it's no, all that crap's gone.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit what I was getting at with House of M, where House of M was the first domino that fell. Because up until that point, like you had very simple, like you had a very simple precept when you were a creator, when you were a comic book writer, when you were writing something within continuity, which is, doesn't matter what you do to the character as long as the character is the same as where it began.
Right.
So you can do whatever you want to like Captain America, but he needs to be Captain America as he started.
Mm-hmm.
And the times that they broke this convention became storylines that were of legend, like the Dark Phoenix saga. Okay, where you're like, holy crap. But at the end of the Dark Phoenix saga, all but one character is the same, which is Jean Grey.
Right.
Because she's dead. But that's like, but that doesn't exist anymore. Like, because the 90s happened, and people saw huge profits coming from comics that were like spun. Mm-hmm. So they spun Superman by killing him. They spun Superman by releasing for the Return of Superman, which in each Superman was like a hardcore version of Superman, like the cyborg and the kid with the leather jacket and the guy covered in steel. Okay, so like they were just spinning Superman for that. They spun Batman by breaking his back and then delivering this other extreme Batman. Mm-hmm. Green Lantern, they just killed Hal Jordan. They killed him. Released like they came out with like a younger, spunkier Green Lantern that everyone hated. Mm-hmm. Like that was the theme in the 90s, which was like you were like, you had to shake up the characters because you thought that was working because the book sold so well.
Right.
But the thing is, like that created a generation of people that absorb that content, and then these kids become professionals, and when they become professionals, they think the only thing they can imagine is shaking the status quo. So like like one bad generation created the windfall. But I do believe that what happened in the 90s was the most creative boom ever in comic book history, next to what happened within the 60s, within the competition of DC and Marvel, how the two of those, they were battling for space, and they created everything that we still love today.
So, side note,
Yeah.
why is it okay that the MCU, aside from Scarlet Witch and Hawkeye, stick to the comic book costumes almost to a T? Captain America still runs around in an American flag.
Yeah, yeah.
But the X-Men are too outlandish to be comic book uniformed.
No one says that they're outlandish.
No, I'm just saying,
yeah,
like,
I
as
mean-
far as source material
Yeah,
and the argument I was making earlier, why does it work for the MCU, but Fox is afraid to take that leap? What do you
Look,
think?
you don't know what I don't know what Fox is thinking. There's no way I could assume that. Who knows? Like maybe they did do a bunch of screen tests and they thought it looked like crap. Maybe Bryan Singer doesn't want to do it, and they trust Bryan Singer to make them money. Yeah, like that's what I'm talking about. Like it's really hard to know what goes behind these decisions, and
Because, I mean, even that first Fantastic Four and Daredevil, they go really close to that source.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
eye-catching comic book cover. That's what catches me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And then when you see them on, like, an X-Men Apocalypse poster, it never catches my eye.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between... All right, yeah, it's all... Even Spider-Man, he looks great. He always has. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like now he's got the webbing like in the 60s and like all that good stuff.
Yeah.
They even tease the Iron Spider. But I just don't get why Fox is so afraid to take that like leap.
Yeah, look, that's what I mean about I think that time is coming because I really do think Deadpool taught them lessons.
Hopefully, if they're gonna reboot after Apocalypse, hopefully it's built around a Deadpoolian universe somewhat.
Yeah, maybe. Like Deadpool's still a character that I cannot take a lot of.
No. I'm not saying he needs to be the new Wolverine, but
Yeah.
like maybe that Colossus ties to an all-new X-Men where they're all... Because even now, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, she's in her X-Force, if you will.
Well,
garb.
actually, yeah, or she would be in possibly New Mutant gear, which is black and yellow.
Thank you.
Okay, and or the Grant Morrison X for Extinction era, which was black leather and yellow, maybe. But she kind of seemed more to be New Mutant. But you're right; they could just take that and make that part of the new X-Men.
The new standard.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is where it's like, I think it frustrates people because they oversimplify it. It's hard to know where these decisions are coming from, what the origin of them are, and how they're executed. Part of the fun of delving deeper into it is you only get nuggets. You get like little pieces of the decisions behind these movies. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of the reasons why you don't get more is because they're in competition,
Right.
and you can't tell people everything you're thinking to appease, like Ed over here reading comics, like on the couch, like going to the comic book store every Wednesday and picking up what's new. You can't appease Ed, like you're in the business. You gotta protect your secrets. Like you're telling me that they're secretive about Star Wars because they're what? Trying to protect the fans and surprises? No, because it's Star Wars. It's going to make $1 billion regardless. No, part of that is they're protecting it against the competition, and that's a key point people miss.
Pray tell, what competition is there for Star Wars? The juggernaut that it is.
Well, I don't know. Like you never know what happens on box office weekend. Sometimes you never know.
I'm talking overall, buddy.
Well,
Overall.
I mean, Star Wars
Movie has religions based on it. Religions.
or religions are based on Star Wars, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, I really don't think that it's so much of like the competition is that like there is such a thing as stealing thunder when it comes to weekly box office. Star Wars can come out and a movie can still come in underneath Star Wars the same weekend and pull income.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Like, it can pull a sizable chunk. I mean, I think around Force Awakens, I want to say some of the competition for Force Awakens was the second Hunger Games movie. Okay, you know, and like that's what I'm talking about. Like these people make strategic decisions. They call weekends years in advance.
Right.
Okay, but that doesn't mean these like undercard movies still don't have a chance. I mean, time and time again, like we're always taught that lesson where it's somewhat unknown, like comedy, you know, like Tyler Perry comedy or
Right.
Ice Age comes out, like a kids movie comes out and swoops in, and they have decimated big budget movies before, so it is a secretive business. It's also a small business. Like people know each other in Hollywood. There's only a few people that run it, and that but there's tens of thousands of people trying to break into those gates. But there's still like a small core that run it. Same as like any industry. Like Silicon Valley is a very close knit community. They run tech for the entire world. So, like, what is your like? Where do you think? Like, what would you like to see that you haven't seen in any of these movies as of franchise? Like as of just them putting a character to film and trying to make a series out of it.
That's tough. They've been pretty wish granting so far.
Yes.
Like, see, that's just it. I cannot complain about what the MCU has done because they've been so solid.
How about something outside the MCU?
The like, only thing that I could compare to the MCU in sheer tightness is Harry Potter. And aside from the MCU going,
have you seen Fantastic Beasts?
I haven't, not yet.
Do you want to see that?
It felt so out of place, but now that I'm seeing all the like, oh, it's kind of a prequel, and this guy that's mentioned in the Deathly Hallows is a major player here. Like,
it's
the more it's tying, the more I'm just waiting for DVD. I'll buy the Blu-ray, I'll watch it, it'll sit on the shelf. I'm gonna buy the Rogue One Blu-ray. I'll watch it a million and one times.
Competition, though, I'm getting somewhere real quick. When you talk about competition. What came out right before that movie?
What?
Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange.
Suicide Squad?
Well, Doctor Strange came out 2 weeks before Fantastic Beasts, right?
Okay.
Like might have been 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, Fantastic Beasts came in under expectations. Now, is this because this wizard idea, the people had their fill with Doctor Strange, and they just were kind of like, okay, so the diehards are the ones that went to Harry Potter.
Put it to you this way. I am a diehard Harry Potter fan. I never missed a midnight. Mom took me to all of them until I was old enough to go by myself. Even if...
Did you take Mom at least?
No, she was out of state by the time they wrapped up.
Yeah.
But no. But even if Doctor Strange would have been 6 months before, 2 weeks after, like, I just personally had no desire to see Fantastic Beasts until I learned.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this Grindelwald guy that's the villain, he's the same guy from the Deathly Hallows. Like, it was the ties.
But consider this. There's only so much bandwidth. There's only so much bandwidth a person can utilize. Okay? Disney had the momentum of, like, pushing, like, all the education you knew about Doctor Strange and the hype, like, even over Fantastic Beasts. And that's what I mean about, like this is why things are secretive, and there's, like...
Well, yeah, but
like,
for me, you're
like
talking to the wrong person about that.
Yeah.
As soon as before they even announced, during Phase 2, I was trying to track down Doctor Strange books because I knew it was a matter of time.
But here's the thing, though. You got to take yourself out of it, and you got to consider you're not the real audience. Like, you're a small percentage. The norm audience is a very small percentage. The bigger audience are the people that just want to go see a movie.
All right, well, if I was thinking of the bigger audience, I would say Fantastic Beasts would have been the way to go. Well, because you know Harry Potter's family.
But the thing is, though, okay? Because you know the two movies are similar in theme.
Okay.
Presentation, visuals. Okay? That Doctor Strange was able to steal the bandwidth from Fantastic Beasts.
No.
Yes.
No.
That is the only way to explain, because otherwise, Fantastic Beasts would have performed beyond expectations.
Maybe just nobody cared.
No, I think
I think Doctor Strange has enough separate type of action and elements to it.
but the people don't know that. They only know what they're seeing. Like, they know it's a wizard movie, and that came out before Fantastic Beasts.
See, I wouldn't even call it a wizard. When you see Doctor Strange, you'll understand why I wouldn't call
But
it
the
a
average
wizard movie.
person doesn't care.
Nah, but
He's
the average.
just like-
All right, but no.
he's a
Time
guy
out.
in
Time
a
out.
red
Time.
cape
No.
that throws around
You're right.
spells.
He's a guy in a red cape. Harry Potter with the wands has been around long before the guy with the red cape. Harry Potter's had the staying power. Harry Potter has two theme parks built around him in Universal.
but-
Harry Potter's spin-off movie would have had the draw.
But this is what
At the
I'm
end of the
talking
day,
about, that-
Doctor Strange is a sequel to the MCU universe.
But the people don't know about that.
But they do. At this point, they do.
No, you know how many people
No.
I explain this to on a daily basis?
I don't. You know
People-
how many people I don't have to explain it to on a daily basis? These are just the crowds we roll with.
No, right. But your crowd is not the audience.
You don't. My crowd is the audience.
No.
We're the one that went to see it.
But-
You didn't.
No, but you're missing the point though. The point though is that Disney made a strategic choice to steal that bandwidth. Okay?
But that's
Like-
not what we were talking about.
Yes.
We were talking about if there was room in. That's not how
Yeah,
that
because
was phrased.
because it attacked what people like already thought they saw a wizard movie. So when by the time Fantastic Beasts was rolling around, it was just another wizard movie that people that the larger audience didn't feel like seeing. So, and that's the difference between $50 and $60 million. Okay? And when you're making movies at $200 million with $100 million budgeting, $300 million movies, trust me, you need that $60 million.
Oh, I don't deny. Just chalk it up as another loss for Warner
You know?
Brothers.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like, this is why secrets are kept within these movies, because people, well, even for me, like, like you and I are very knowledgeable,
Mm-hmm.
but it's at the end of the day, it's still a bandwidth.
Oh, I don't
like,
deny it. And
mentality.
if they weren't worried about it, or they didn't think they were gonna, they could have pushed dates back. They could have moved them
You
around.
can't, because there's these.
They just moved 2 dates around on big movies coming.
Yeah, years from now.
No, I'm talking. A movie just got pushed back to 2017.
How big of a movie?
What was it? The shit.
Yeah, and usually when movies move dates, it's kind of like a bad sign.
Oh, I'm not denying
Like,
it's
you
not
know,
a bad sign,
yeah.
but it's a relatively big enough movie that I was like, oh crap, another 6 months to wait for that
Yeah,
one.
well,
So I
it's-
was pumped.
It's usually a bad sign when they move dates. Yeah, but the overall, like I said, like the overall point though is that there's always a fight for the attention span.
Right.
Like, there's always a and and that's what Doctor Strange essentially, like, Disney was able to somewhat slay Harry Potter.
Well,
They made a strategic marketing decision to slay Harry Potter.
Disney was able to slay the Harry Potter universe. Had that movie been Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and they skipped it and went ahead and filmed the stage play before the stage play hit, it would have blown Doctor Strange out of the water. Because I would have been there to see it too.
Well, that's the thing, but
It's not Harry Potter.
Yeah.
That's what shot them in the
well,
foot.
Doctor Strange is not the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
But it is.
No, it's a Doctor Strange movie that has references so subtle that you didn't even pick up on, like the Living Tribunal reference and the Galactic reference, the Galactus.
I picked up on a Living Tribunal,
No, I
and
told
there
you.
is no Galactic reference.
Yes, there is. They talk about the Eater of Worlds in that movie. Yes.
Maybe in a deleted scene.
No, they talk about that. But the living, when I told you about the Living Tribunal, you didn't know about that.
He's the 3-headed face. I didn't. No, I know who that is. He's got the staff.
Right.
I know who that is.
Yeah. So, but those are subtle references that
Right. But they're not even in the MCU. Either way, it is a Marvel movie. It was advertised as a Marvel movie.
It's
This
a Marvel
is the next
movie,
Marvel superhero.
But it's not this continuation type movie. It's just like
It's not, but it's still in the MCU. It's still
but
part
people
of
don't-
that grander
but people-
story.
but people-
and I feel like after 14 years of the grander story, the fans of it, the people that do go to see it, that care about it, that are listening to us now, know that that's part of the bigger plan. They know Doctor Strange is going to tie into Infinity War. And if you saw the movie, you know he's
Yeah.
going to play a big part in Thor Ragnarok.
But-
like it goes with the territory.
Yeah.
When you see Marvel at
But-
the end of that trailer,
But-
you know, I have to see this if I've seen the rest.
But here's the thing: the larger audience, like the week 2, the week 3, the week 4 audience, which the audience that
the flip of the coin on a Friday night, well, it's date night, it's movie night. It's
no, it's like they.
the third Tuesday of December, we go to the
But
movies
that's the thing.
that
and-
night.
but
What are we seeing?
But those are the people you make the movies for. Like the core, like the super geeks, always think the movies are made for them. And it's the same as like the sports fanatic that thinks
you make the movie for the general public. You want to make money.
right.
Right.
So-
no one's going to pander it to the 10,000 people that have actually read a Doctor Strange comic.
But-
They're going to make it appealing to the general public.
But you're saying they should though, by saying that if they stick to the base.
That's not at all what I was saying. I was saying this was a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
your point,
and
but-
that is
but-
going to drown out
but-
something that is loosely tied
But
to
wait,
Harry
but
Potter.
wait, your point with the X-Men though was they should have stuck to the base with the costumes.
Yeah,
It
with the
would've made the
costumes.
movie better.
To me, aesthetically, yeah. I
Okay.
don't think that a non-fan would have said
So-
they look like garbage. I'm not going to see that
but
movie.
plenty of people like it's the same argument with Transformers. Like the core complains about Transformers, but people actually love them. Like like the toys sell.
People love Michael Bay. He's nothing more than an explosion. That's
Well, you can't say that.
what do you want?
No, you can't say Michael. No, Michael. If you ever watched the Zero Dark 30 or
I have,
or
actually.
Pain and Gain, yeah, like those are, and even like Armageddon and Pearl Harbor, like those are deeply emotional movies. That if you took away,
I'll give you 2 out of those.
if you took away the explosions in Armageddon, you still have a better movie than Deep Impact.
Okay, I haven't seen
Like,
Deep Impact.
Yeah, but I'm just
What do you
saying,
want?
like
That
he's-
must be the
he's-
poor man's Armageddon.
No, Deep Impact actually was. They were competing movies, same as Doctor Strange. And
Deep
and
Impact has
Wizard.
Will Smith, right?
No,
No? Gene
No.
Hackman?
no.
Well, screw this conversation and on to the next topic.
Deep Impact had Jon Favreau, director of Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Had not Ed Harris. It had who's the guy from I forget his name.
I don't know. I could
From-
see the poster with the rock
From
crashing into the earth
what had
and all that
it's
crap.
got Elijah Wood.
Ugh.
It's got what's his name? Robert Duvall.
Ah,
Robert
okay.
Duvall is the aging astronaut. It has Morgan Freeman as a black president.
It had him in every role.
I know, it's just about. But no, but the thing is, like those were competing movies. Baneworth won, Armageddon won. Do you know what the competing movie for Blade was?
Blade?
Yeah,
Or
Baneworth competition for that movie as well.
if I had to guess, I'd say Underworld.
It was John Carpenter's Vampires.
Okay.
Do you remember the Baneworth competition for Bug's Life?
Ants.
Ants. Bug's Life won. That's what I mean. So the Harry Potter spin-off movie versus Doctor Strange. So like people know this practice works and it wins. There's a way to win this type of war. But at the same time, so getting back to my own question, I would love to see an X-Men franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be interested in X-Men movies without Wolverine?
By far. I mean, I would be interested. I don't think they would be bad. I also think it would be cool to just recast him and have him as the angry background berserker that you bring in when you need some bloodshed or something torn up, and you let some other people tell the story.
What about Cyclops?
You know my feelings on that. Don't go there.
So what? Yes, that's a yes or that's a no.
Yeah, I'd love to see him at the forefront with Charles. I'd love to see Colossus given Wolverine the speedball in the background tearing off the Sentinel's head.
Well, we saw live action baseball.
Yeah.
X-Men 3.
Yeah, we saw it once.
Yeah.
It would just be
Yeah.
nice to see like that constant team up of
Yeah. So what about what if they just because I think they're locked in on the New Mutants movie, right?
Yeah. There's a ton of stuff happening.
So
actually,
what about using that to relaunch?
I guess I'll be honest. I don't know jack all about the New Mutants, and I don't care. I know Wolfsbane just doesn't sound good to me. I know
Cannonball. You have Cannonball.
Cannonball.
Cannonball actually is. Oh, I forget how they defined him, but Cannonball actually at one time was like one of the most powerful Earthbound mutants, like or characters in Marvel.
I'm pretty sure they loosely did Cannonball in X-Men Evolution, the cartoon.
Oh.
And again, I could take or leave. Like,
Yeah.
no one on that team, aside from Wolfsbane, stands out. And even Wolfsbane is just like a poor man's beast.
Well, they're all kind of like it's
My ideal X-Men movie is like that 80s poster of like the crew.
Yeah.
You know the one I'm talking about. Like that is the movie I want.
Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of
Or give me X-Men Apocalypse and just give me a
you want Age of Apocalypse.
You know what I mean.
You want Age of Apocalypse.
I want Cyclops with one eye,
But
Wolverine with one hand.
They really blew their load. With
They did. It'll never
Apocalypse.
happen.
Yeah.
Which is a damn shame.
But at least there was. But I thought I thought I was a little bit on the outskirts of that though, where it's kind of like I thought they nailed Apocalypse, and people seem like
I don't complain about him one bit.
people think that he didn't have enough motivation, or he was kind of like cardboard. He was a little bit vanilla in that, and I thought they nailed him.
I might shoot my credibility, but I don't hate that movie. I think they underutilize some characters. Like Angel's a complete waste. Complete
Yeah.
waste. Psylocke again.
Almost again.
You got a hot girl in spandex. Mazel tov. Give her something to do.
Yeah, Psylocke was a huge disappointment.
Like, and
Especially
the whole
getting
Havoc
Olivia
thing,
Munn
that
in the
pisses
movie.
me off. Like,
What I saw it once.
right.
I've
seen it twice.
I'm for going on the run of just watching that for a week to really dissect it. Mm-hmm. So my position for X-Men is I guess or X-Men Apocalypse is that I don't have a position.
Okay.
I just know that my biggest walk away issue with that movie was that in this continuity, this run, you have 30 years of no X-Men. Nothing happens in the 60s, right? They kind of formed the X-Men. Now, if you go to the 70s and there's no X-Men, Charles has closed the school.
Right.
And then at the end of the 80s, you kind of have a team, but there's no like standing X-Men team. Like you kind of see in the beginning of the first X-Men movie, where there's somewhat of a standing team.
Right.
And that's the biggest fallacy of the X-Men movies. Period. Like Deadpool.
They're
aside.
not X-Men. They're Wolverine movies with
Yeah, I mean, it's
characters built
I
around
think
them.
I think it really is amazing though.
even when the first one turned out to be about Rogue, Anna Paquin, still an
Yeah.
Oscar-winning actress in that time, because she won it when she was like 8
Yeah,
for
she was
Fly
10.
Away Home. Whatever,
No,
it doesn't.
the
It
piano.
counts.
I think she won for the piano.
I thought it was Fly Away Home.
Pretty sure it was the piano.
Either way, we digress. You still made it about Wolverine, and it's about Anna Paquin. Like,
Right.
and you still have
Well, what-
Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart as your like, and you're focusing on it. I just wish that would have went another way.
Well, here's the one thing too.
I mean, it's kept Hugh Jackman healthy and fed and rich, which is all well and good.
Well, he's and he's been 1994 the piano and the Pac-Man best supporting actress. The point with Wolverine with the young girl is on point.
Yeah,
So
he's always had that Jubilee or Kitty Pryde.
Kitty Pryde, yeah.
There's always
Right.
that. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think in who's he have? Right, he's got Jubilee somewhat, I guess,
In
from
the
like,
90s
yeah,
cartoon.
the cartoon series, yeah,
Right.
but also in the comic too, yeah. So, but no, I mean, I think we're going to. Geez, we're just going on here. We're hitting the 2 hour mark. I think we should.
We might have to part 2 this.
Yeah, I think when we get to this part of the conversation, when we go into this much of a flow state, I just feel like we should give out like free things here for people who are listening to reward, people listening all the way through.
I could see that.
But it's but no, I think we kind of, this is what we wanted to do today.
Right.
We kind of just wanted to sit down and have like somewhat of a spitball session, and it's always good to kind of get, like, because you and I essentially, I think you can kind of tell, but people may not, that you and I really do live in different worlds.
Right.
Okay, but my world at one time was your world
Yeah.
on cocaine and crack
Could be.
and steroids and heroin and the list goes on and on. But but at the same time though, like as of right now, yeah, we have different priorities, we live in different worlds, but we still get excited for a Rogue One, or
Right.
we get excited for Doctor Strange, and sometimes you get disappointed when you miss stuff, but you're not butthurt when it doesn't happen.
Right.
Before, like I used to get like anxiety. Like I used to get nervous if I didn't see movies quick enough in the theater.
Oh, I believe
Like,
it. I do. Because of assholes like you.
Not
You're
like
the
me.
reason why I need to go out and see the movie on Thursday, because by Friday it's going to be all over my Facebook and it's ruined for me.
Nah, I don't promote any of that.
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Not at all.
Yeah, but what have you been, real quick though, because I just want to get your opinion on this. What about the Power Rangers movie? Where are you with this? Is I'll tell you know
Story-wise. All right. So far what I know. Zordon's supposed to be the first Red Ranger. We get a glimpse of him 1,000 years ago.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Rita's supposed to be the first Green Ranger gone bad. All right, cool.
Okay.
F and A. Apparently, we have a funeral scene. We don't know if it's a Ranger. We don't know if it's someone close to the Rangers, but there's been a confirmed funeral scene.
Wow.
All right, fucking A, adding some balls.
Yeah.
Then I saw what they did to Goldar.
Oh, I missed that.
As much as the visuals have been irking me from the get-go, but the story details have been intriguing me enough that I wasn't going to pass judgment. As soon as I saw what they did to my favorite villain on that show, Goldar, aside from he looks like their Megazord all put together, he looks like a giant turd that someone had the runs all over. Because his face is just melted. He's a toy. A toy leaked of him. That's how you're going to find him.
I'm not
Goldar
seeing-
action figure. Let me see.
Yeah. I'm getting
That's
all...
him. You passed him. That's it. Right there.
Oh, right. Oh, he's like really gold.
Yeah. The whole thing is
Oh.
when he get destroyed 1,000 years ago, the gold blew up, whatever. So the whole movie, Rita's going around to like Fort Knox and getting Goldar's gold. She's going to this spot and getting his gold and trying to put them together to beat the Rangers. That just looks like crap covered in diarrhea to me. It's runny, just nasty, no definite
Yeah.
and the body shape is exactly it just
So a little bit of like I guess what we were talking about like earlier. Yeah, because Rita is dressed in green.
yeah.
That's kind of cool.
See, and that was going totally over my head. I thought they were just trying to do a hot alienized, and then they
Yeah.
said she was going to be the first Green Ranger, and I was like, that's why she's all in green.
That's
that makes
cool.
sense.
Yeah, her
the story details were hooking me, but then when I see
she
stuff
has like the
that,
amulet for the green.
right.
Oh, that's cool, dude. So here's a little bit of
They just crossed that last line,
Here-
and I don't know if I
But
could
isn't
come
he kind of
back.
like side throwaway character too? I know he's a personal favorite, but it's kind of like
He-
the same
he
as
was,
like
he was Rita's lapdog, but he was
Yeah.
around. The fact that he's in every episode, like
I just think he always looked awesome.
Yeah, he
Like,
did.
just
He was that
looked-
blue dog. He's got the long black hair.
Like,
He's got the
Rita,
metal sword.
Rita,
I'll destroy the Rangers for you.
Like-
Like, and then they make him look like just melting crap.
When I saw the trailer, I immediately thought this thing is too realistic.
I could see that.
I'm just like
Like, because
Like-
Kearns was even like, the Iron Man ripoffs don't piss you off because all of them look like their
Yeah,
suits
it's
are
okay.
on.
That's
I could
fine.
deal with that.
Yeah.
I could deal. He was like, really, Goldar's the line, and I was like, yeah, actually, with how far they went, they could have done anything.
You're right.
Just the solid gold alone. Like, so what? He's a transformer. That's
yeah, it's a little weird.
It's
Like
too much.
Like I'm kind of with you on that,
It's too much.
But-
that's where I drew the line.
but they kind of seem like even
I was really trying to, and they even got Bryan Cranston to play Zord. Like, I was so.
But it's still. But don't you think this is still kind of like a little bit what we were even talking about with Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, where they centralize everything around Oscorp, and it kind of looks good and smells good, but it takes away the
Right. Well,
the-
this
like,
whole thing
this randomness.
apparently she's working for Zed the whole time. Like, all this isn't for her; it's for Zed, who she pissed off. And it's like, no.
Do you think that there's too much of an obsession with world building when you come to movies anymore?
I think
Like, why does everything always have to be? I mean, like, and this is a little bit of like what I was trying to say with Doctor Strange, where like it is Marvel U, but at the same
Right.
time it's not, and that's why those movies work so well. That's why like Paul Rudd like has a superhero movie, and that movie kind of has no connection, but little things, but sure, like
until Civil War, where he's fully connected.
until Civil War. But then again, you could just watch Civil War and you're just like, oh, okay, he's funny when he's introduced.
Yeah,
and
you can
like,
you can
know,
watch any of them as a standalone, but at the end of the day, they're all interconnected.
They are, but I just think like that's where
See, I
Marvel
can't
movies
I can't
kinda
complain
walk
about
that
them
line.
building a mythos because I really do like that they're doing it for the Universal monster. Like, I like the idea
Yeah.
of if you have 12 properties. I like the idea of Krampus and Trick or Treat being connected by the candy that's in the kids' Halloween leftovers.
Yeah, but you know what though? But see, those are like fun ones to where like like Pixar, they have the Pixar
Right,
theories,
right.
And I think that's kind of like whatever.
That's world building too. There's
Well,
taking
to-
it too
to
far.
some-
There's being on the nose. There's doing it right.
I will tell
I
you-
have no problem with it just
I-
when you try and incorporate 4 seasons of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers into one movie, which is what it kind of seems like they're trying to do, just throwing the whole Zed
Yeah,
connection
4
in there too.
yeah.
Like, that's where it becomes just plan on making 4 sequels.
was
and by
was
the
Zed introduced in the live action movie?
no,
No,
he was before
from the
that.
show.
Yeah.
but he was in the movie.
But he was an original American creation.
Yes.
He was never in the Super Sentai.
I always thought he looked cool too.
Oh yeah,
With that-
the brain, the build. He's
yeah.
he's a skinned human
he's
with a
kinda
metal
like-
mask.
You know what he is though? He's kind of like the best friend of Jason X
He is
because he had the
is.
crown. But look, we're
Underrated movie.
I want to talk more about this because I do want to dissect a little bit of if world building works
Okay,
as opposed if it really does work.
all right.
'cause I really-
let's find
because-
some cinematic universes to tear up and build down, my
Yeah,
friend.
well, some of these cinematic universes only existed in one movie too.
This is true.
Yeah, but we'll leave it off there. Norm's going to come back and say goodbye. He had to take a walk.
Yeah, I had to throw out my trash.
Yeah, it's okay.
Trash.
Norm promotes cleanliness.
I don't like to leave a mess
I hear you.
unless it's on your toilet seat because
Hey,
after you
yo.
clean it up.
Yeah. Oh man, don't go there. All right, we're gonna get out of here. You know what? My takeaway from today though is I was able to kind of like arrive to some epiphanies while we were talking.
Very nice. That's always good.
And I think that for me that was like very valuable.
Whew, my blood pressure.
Yeah. I know. Nor, you're a go. What is your shirt, by the way? What is that from? It's They
it's-
Live as Galactus.
And it says consume.
Where'd you get that at?
Ripped apparel, my friend. It was a daily tee.
Dude, that's cool.
I saw it.
I like
fell
the
in love.
colors. Yeah, what color is that? Is that a blue shirt?
Pink and blue, navy blue shirt, light
I would
blue
wear that.
design,
Yeah,
pink.
I would probably wear that. But all right, we're signing off. All right.
All right.
until-
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Until next time, we're gonna go on.
ho.
We're gonna go on a little bit of a break because we're gonna have a little bit of a further technology. We're gonna have a production upgrade. There's a couple things that we're figuring out here, and then
Norm's taking a vacation. Oh, see you guys have to
yeah, he's going to go. Yeah, so
We'll talk about that when I get back.